Hello, 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 and it's gone again. I'll figure it out. Welcome back to Australian Branding with me, Graham, for our Saturday game day stream. Yay! We'll be continuing with Pale Beyond if, it decides to work. Did this last week, I think. Let's just pick that and go okay for a couple of seconds and see what happens. And then we'll go properties. This one. See if it pops up. That's working yet? Come on! You can do it! Well, while this fucks around... here it is! We'll be continuing on where we left off. That's my original save when I first started playing the game. This is the continual save. So, let's see how many people survive the freezing beyond. Kurt, Which one's Nutley? I can't remember my character voices, guys. But everybody's going well because I'm jumping straight in. Yes, Nutley. That's the stutterer. Do I seem afraid to you of the sled dogs? That is. Well, are you? No. Have you ever owned a dog as a pet? No, my family does own several cats. I'd be more afraid of those clawed beasties before I feared a little pup. I suppose you're right. But yeah, so we'll be continuing on with this. I hope everybody's having a crack-a-lackin' day. I had a very, I don't know, I was going to put up Christmas decorations, and I got most of them put up, but we have a sheet that goes under the tree, and I couldn't fucking find it, and I was being super stubborn, and I wasn't calling my parents to ask where the fuck it was, and I'm just like, and I still haven't found it. So the tree's up, it's just not in the right spot and has no decorations on it. All the other decorations are up though, so I guess that's a success. Other than that, I'm just kind of chilling. How's everybody else's day? Let me know in chat. I can have a nat to you, but yeah, I'll be mostly reading out this stuff. Penguins! Penguin! That Kurt Captain doesn't know what he's about. Lost in his own little world he is. Must think it's still 30 years ago. Man begged and pleaded to even be here, just to feel important. Don't know what you're doing listening to him. Suppose that's none of my business. Now, I don't know what I'm doing either. I never know what I'm doing. Who's freezing? Someone's freezing. Freezing. Freezing and scurvy. Scurvy I can heal with food. That's what the limons be for. Oh, it healed them instead of her. Okay. Feed the hush pot. Lemon. Boys. Healed scurvy. Somebody else is malnourished. That's fine. Feedeth the furnace. I hunt the penguins? They're just there. Just bang! Sorry, Mr. Penguin. Zoometh out a little bit, please. I can hunt these penguins. Have a look down here. Send a little scouty scout. More penguins. The Emperor Penguin. 1, 2, 3. Sendeth you. More emperor penguins. Sendeth you. So whittle penguins. Any more dogs at the moment? Yeah. So I will heal you. I will. Two scientists. Oh, because what happened to them? Scientists cook up medical. You two can make some medical comforts. Relax. I don't think there's anything else to do around here.
Feed the crew to the hush hut.
Da 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 da. Yeah, the only one on that. Yeah. Oh. Fine. Through the interview. Yes, they're there. Had a bucket load of rain not long ago. It's just like 20 mils in, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. Just and a bit of hail, but not very big, just pea size. If that, just enough to be annoying as shit. And then east. Anything else for them to do? I leave them for now, see what happens. How do I end the day? To talk to someone? Oh! Oh, shit! That's why. I'm an idiot! Templeton looked to you confused. Captain? Captain? Captain! Unamused. Ridiculous. Watch as you can. Might have to restart because I thought I'd done this. Shoo. Captain, last week's ice fishing was quite the success. We were able to gather a decent haul with some patience. Oh, 4 fish. Thank you for providing the manpower. Some extra rations will certainly come in handy. Captain, a truly urgent request. Well, perhaps not urgent, but well, when inspiration strikes. Collect yourself, Mr. Gloss. Right, well, this is the perfect opportunity to write up a proper study on the birds of this region. I asked that some of the science team be allowed this week to write up our findings. That may risk us losing the opportunity to harvest as many of them for resources as possible. God damn it. Sorry, we need you for other tasks. Shame, opportunity. Hammond, Captain, we need to talk about last week. I know you took the navigator's side, but you really need to think this through. I'm telling you, we won't last if we don't hunker down for winter starting next week. I'll consider it, Hammond. Good. Don't be listening to that washed-up old fool. Finish request. Fortunately, I can't study them. But all the penguins! Arf! Starberry, calm down. They're just curious of our presence. They're just curious of our presence here. Arf, arf! You hear a baby penguin sneeze. Oh, that's adorable. Honk the penguins. You hear a penguin squawk. You hear a long penguin call. Assign a team. Assign crew to hunting the entire colony. Assign a team to hunting some of the colony. I am very annoyed. I fucked this right up, didn't I? Oh, I get some more penguins. Team goes to work. All the crew for dinner. Crew have their meal. Penguin! Dinner is stared and stories are traded. Penguin colony moves on. Probably should have hunted more of them, but I done fucked up. Nice dogs. Dear, do you no? Oh, what? Hey, do you not have work to do, child? What are their names? The one you're petting, that's Maxwell. That's a person's name, isn't it? And they're all... Are they all that boring? No. Get dunked on. That's a bit tense these days, isn't it? Not surprised. Time's catching up to us, right? Can't take another week looking out at nothing but ice. Reading something? Yes, a book on poetry. Can you read one? On poetry? Not of poetry. It's an analysis of the technique. Oh, I've always wanted to read. Is that so? You wouldn't mind helping, would you? I suppose I could lend you something. Thank you. Arf! Eyeing up my dinner. Eyeing up me dinner, are ya? You ain't getting a sniff of this. Get back to your master. Except I'm a pirate now. Okay, Hammond's much better. I was trying to do the Scottish engineer, but Hammond's much better as a pirate. Arr! Alright, just a bite. Those two were bickering again over dinner. Hammond and Kurt. Both of them are talking shite. Someone should talk to them. I know what a punch up when a punch up is brewing. Seems Kurt and the mole man are still going at it. Not surprised, the chief doesn't bend in disagreements. Maybe he should. A simple apology would allow us to return to our work without issue. What makes you believe Hannon should be the one to apologize? Common sense? Oofed. Common sense ain't too common, my dudes. Kurt and Mr. Hammond are still at odds, I see. The engineer and the navigator butting heads, that's not a good sign. They're smart men, Doctor. I'm sure they'll reach a peaceful agreement in the end. I would hope so. There's no need to worry. This will pass. Captain, I've made a decision. I know enough of these expeditions. There's no guarantee I will return home. My writings are inside a case alongside Dr. Nutley's equipment. If the rest of you return to land without me, I want my writings to be published. Finished, unfinished, it doesn't matter. I promise. I appreciate the sentiment, but we both know that things are out of our control. I'm only following the crew's story. I shouldn't die with me. Captain, there's something I wanted to ask you. Something difficult. If I don't make it back to land, someone will have to tell my family. Face to face. Not through a letter from the benefactor. And I want it to come from someone I trust. Could you? Of course, as a captain, it would be my duty. It's not your duty as captain. I know you don't have to do that. So thank you. It would be a great favor. I trust you. These two both, yeah, those two both love me, so it's fine. He's fine. It still fucking hates me. That's understandable. Fine. Oh, she's not loyal. Fair enough. I think something did something. I can't remember. Sure. If anything happens to me, make sure Junior has my accordion. It's all I've got to give. I'll make sure of that grimly. Oh, why did you minimize? Aye, thanks. Oh, a good evening to you, Captain. Apologies for the distraction. I was enjoying a textbook. Everything. Shouldn't you be more concerned with Kurt and Hammond? Anything interesting? This was the first textbook I ever read when entering the field of botany. I'm more than familiar with it front to back. Still, it's more than beneficial if to reacquaint myself with my field of expertise, particularly when I have spent so much time now removed from it. So, what caused you to pursue botany as a study? A fascination with the class of life form that predates us by millennia and will survive us by millennia. Do you know why plant life interests me to this degree, Captain? Enlighten me. A plant's primary goal is to ensure the continued survival of their species, yet the plant is stationary, vulnerable. What I find truly impressive is how they have developed to take advantage of their circumstance. They take advantage of the actions of others to ensure their own existence. Take your average apple tree, for instance. Birds come, they feast upon the fruit, and the seeds stowed within scatter to the ground, ensuring another will grow. Quite ingenious a system, is it not? A form of life so seemingly simple has outsmarted just about every other species that would otherwise cause it harm. Yet, not a single plant can survive out here. Perhaps you should look into a different line of work. Tin food companies don't seem to be your version. They adapt as all things do. I don't see that as... I think that one. And yet, not a single plant can survive out here. I think we have them beat there. You may have a point, sure. Perhaps I take human ingenuity too lightly. Well, I'll assume this topic is quite a bore for you. I won't keep you any longer, Captain. Do me a favor, sure. If I don't make it back with the rest of you, take care of Grimly. Losing Hunt is one thing, but both of us, I'll try, Junior. I can promise that. I don't think Grimly he's fit to handle himself. I have a little control over... I'm sorry. I'll try, Junior. I promise that. Thanks. Make sure he's set up well. He deserves that much at least. Hammond. I was thinking, if I die, the crew's fucked. My work would be wasted if I ended up going under. Captain, if I go, you better keep them alive. I'm not keen on dying for nothing. Promise you happen. Hammond, nothing you do will be in vain. If you die, I'm just as lost as the rest of them. I'll keep everyone alive. I promise you, Hammond, you will not have died in vain. Better not. Don't ask much, Captain. I ask you that. I trust you better than most on the ice. Stanberry and Pascal were engaged in a fighting this morning, a more serious matter than the usual scrap. Put a stop to it, but it's concerned. Those two get along. The dogs, I wouldn't look too much. Perhaps the pressure is finally getting to them. The ice can do this to people. Dogs are no different. I think you're pushing them too hard. I would hope not, but you may be right. The stress can affect us all, can it not? I will have to be more gentle with that pair in the coming weeks. Captain, you have a pen, do you? Don't you? There's something I need to write. Of course. I've been giving it a great deal of thought. I'm going to make sure we all make it back home. But if I don't, I want you to pass something on. Should I die, I want the ownership rights of my films divided up among my children. I will set them up for many years. Could you pass that on for me, Robin? I'd be honored to carry that out if it comes to that. You'll be able to tell them yourself. Don't write to your films. That's the only message. Be honored if it comes to that. Thank you, Robin. I knew I could trust you. That's everybody. Doggos! Pet the doggo, pet the doggo, pet the doggo, pet the doggo. If everybody dies. Actually, I can deal with one person being free. Can I? I sent a whole bunch of people out. I'll be right. Hunting 5 anchor penguins. The dogs rested and available sent out. Lefty sled hunting. Front star became freezing at the sled hunt. No longer met. Mr. Gloss is now freezing. Okay. Well, that went better than expected. Nobody fucking died! Woohoo! Now I have to remember to talk to them before shit happens. What's happening over here? Oh, it's a scouting outpost. This bit first. Casher charges into the tent. Captain! Templeton! You're out of breath. What is it? It's Kurt and Hammond. They're about to knock each other out. Come quick. She bolts out the tent. Best see to it, Captain. Rush over to the commotion near the boiler. Do you have any idea how much you're jumping the gun? I know how much you bloody want to keep playing in the snow. Playing? I take my work as seriously as you. You don't actually believe that, do you? I know you care enough to go behind my back to the captain. Fine, we'll do things your way. No preparation, no stock plan. We can all starve to death, but sooner. Great idea. We're not going to get more prepped waiting around. We need to hunker down. You just like feeling useful and you don't want it to stop. You don't care about the lives on the line. Of course I do. I have experience on the ice. I know the dangers of the winter. You are just too stubborn to do anything anyway but your own. And when you don't get your way, you make a big song and dance about it. You can't help yourself. You're a bloody glory hound. Always looking to be the big man. I think I've done the same accent. Not hard. Sorry that you can never be the big man. Watch it. It's clear this could turn ugly. Wait for the gap in the onion. I'd probably piss them both off, but I really want to say it. Notice you. Kurtz eyes you before scanning the audience that is assembled. Captain, I'm sorry. Our friend here just can't let the matter. You're going to get us killed, you idiot. I'm not the only one who agrees with this course. Then get them killed. Get yourself killed. I don't care what you do. You think you can just come marching into the middle of the camp and... Kurt laughs. Marching? Unlike you, it only takes me a few steps, cane and all. Aye, you could have brought this up in private, but nah. Man like you can't survive without an audience, can you? I'm trying to be reasonable, Hammond. This is just like the ship. You're incapable of considering anyone else's point of view. Everyone else's point of view isn't 10 foot off the ground and still up their own hole. Short! For such a short man, I thought you'd be above name-calling, Hammond. I told you to watch it. You're being heartless, Hammond. Heartless? I'm the one bloody playing it safe. Kurt turns to you. Captain, aren't you going to do something? Fire your gun in the air. They'll sort themselves out. Step between the two men. You step in between the men, breaking the pair up before things go fizzle. Captain, this is between me and the engineer. Out of my way, Captain. I'm not done. No, you are. Return to your station. You may kill each other in your own time, but do either of you have the crew's interest at heart, or are you just eager for a scrap? After the exchange, both men look at each other wearily, their aggressions taken out, the two of them left only with a glow of shame for their actions. Hells! That certainly could have gone better. Despite the jovial comment, Kurt is unable to bring a laugh to anyone, including himself. Both of you are professionals. Both of you should be ashamed. We're supposed to be professionals. The two of you are going to shake hands and work together this instant. Did you both get that out of your system? The two men let out weary sighs almost in unison. You walk away, making your way to the tent the two men left to wallow in their shame. As you walk away, you're stopped by Templeton. Stepping in yourself, Captain, it's unbecoming. You should have exercised your authority proper, not gotten physically involved. I just set an example for the rest of the crew. They should follow it going forward, and who are you to question my effort? I had to act. I see. I can respect that view, Captain. We best hope the crew indeed follows your example. I'm concerned they will instead expect you to act on their behalf. Well, apparently he likes me a lot more now. And they don't hate me. Fair enough. I think... Enter the request tent. Okay, we'll do that first. Grimly! So, any spare timber? Crew want me to carve up some totems. Totems? Aye, for good fortune on the ice. Some feel uneasy about after what happened. You can break down your accordion. We're out if you happen. Good idea, but afraid we're out if you happen to find any wood. Nice to welcome you, sir. Shame. You can get some stuff if you keep some timber. Timber! More fish. Okay. Oh. Killing lots of penguins. Can we not do ice fishing all the time? Just wanted that in there. Go, malnourished. Malnourished. You'll be fine. Feed the Bernice. We'll use that one later. We'll just stick with the coal. Got the coal, I'll burn the coal. Now. Doggos. People to do some fish. Just gonna end up getting more sick, so I'll do. Use. Our scientist got it. That one. Look into this. So, how much more do I need for that one? 5 more, and then I can do that one. Too zoomed out. Go in. Oh, that's why. Call crew for a dinner. Crew have their meal. Apparently, Templeton solved the problem with Grimly, I guess. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. You have been bothering the dogs for some time now. They're having fun. Are you shaken by the morning's events? That I've covered much worse incidents in the city. Yes, but you could return home after that. Grant my dogs a rest, and grant one to yourself. That fight was something, wasn't it? 2 jumped-up egos cracking under pressure, I imagine. You've never been in a fight, have you two, Johns? No, nobody has ever tried to fight me. Not surprised, you're massive, but you wouldn't hurt a fly. Should have known this would happen. The chief was bound to fly off the handle eventually. I can't say I feel bad for Mr. Darling anyway. At camp you notice Kurt hesitantly approach him. I should apologize for what happened this morning. Yeah, you should, or you want to. We shouldn't give in to immaturity. We should be bigger, more mature men. Alright, let's leave it at that. I'm not going to be starting on you again. Right, good. The two share a brief silence. You can be on your way now. Right, of course. 2 return to their duties as you return to. Can you believe the nerve of Hammond fellow? He's lucky Kurt didn't just wallop him. Kurt could have handled it better. But Hammond is a prick, yes. Fair, but yes. Stares at you before nodding to his sleep. Captain, I've noticed a decline in my writings. At first I blamed the cold, then I realized I often drink coffee as I write. It's becoming more difficult to keep up my energy without it. You should get more sleep if you require energy. Perhaps if your mood affecting your work. Understandable and say, how much coffee would you drink to make such a difference? Assure you I'm not lacking in motivation, though the stress is likely a factor. I agree. I found little sleep as of late. There's a matter I wish to bring to your attention. I intend to train one of the crew to handle the kennel in case well, the worst should occur. I do not wish the crew left without a kennel master. Good idea, Cordell, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. Thought you only cared for the pack, not the crew. The worst will not occur. I can go. Good idea, Cordell. Thank you. We'll ensure somebody suitable is chosen, but we will speak more of this later. This is your time of rest, correct? I'm flattered, but I really ought to be getting some rest. Can't tend to the furnace if you're yabbing all night. Call it a night. See you for breakfast. I need to finish developing these. Thanks. Bye. I should probably finish cleaning the equipment. Okay, well, just the case. Endeth the week. Crew cured of their malnourishment. Crew develop freezing. Yep, well, I can deal with both of those. If I don't do that, then... hunting, fish, dogs arrest, available, set out. Became freezing. Bugs became freezing. Drops became freezing. Two Johns became freezing. No longer malnourished. Scurvy. Now freezing. Well, Eisenhausen. It's very cold, apparently. We frozen that game save. Captain, about what happened last week. Sorry. Fuel goes in, we stay alive. Really is that simple. Lockdown camp. Captain, the runt's been taking lessons on engineering. And how did he fare? Well enough that he's not in the way. That's good enough. I think I'm pretty good. Better than some trained ones I've met. Aye, Captain. That's blood for bloody sure. A spare pair of hands is good. Mr. Hammond's scary, but he's a good teacher, you know. Oh, all right, that's enough from you. Seems the young ward has taken to his new calling. I'd written off the stowaway, but it seems he really does have some talent. Okay. So big and fluffy, I could just gnaw on it. It's scary when you're mad, Mr. Hammond. I'm always mad. Aye, but last week you were really mad. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, sir. And don't bloody call me that. Yes, you do. It's dinner. I wanted to see if I could find another fucking elephant seal. Back to camp. Feed the hosh pot. Some lemons in it. You. Okay. Feedeth the furnace. Feed the furnace! Back. Actually, talk to these dudes. Ask to raise the... Okay, because they had scurvy, they can't do that. Fair enough. Feed the dogs and get them to do other stuff. Oh. 3 left, and one of them is very cool. Save. Hold. I think I only have 2 left, don't I? Yes. I'll feed the dogs. And then I can do something. Apparently everybody just borrows the shotgun. Oh, for the... Have them. Puppies! Dinner is shared and stories are traded. Summer's winding down. We hunker down here soon. Still need a few more weeks to spare at this camp. Eager to get going. Eager to get... Got close to shore quick. I was designated by our benefactor to be the second officer on this expedition. I'm simply doing my duty. Aye, sure. Hammond, a question. I told you I'm not getting quoted in your bloody report. Calm down, it's not about you. You've worked with Mr. Templeton before, yes, regrettably. Do you know what happened? Do you happen to know his age? I wasn't listed in the records, and estimating based on his appearances is difficult. He's younger than he looks, that's all I know. Doctor, good evening. Something on your mind? I was curious. You have been awfully quiet after, last week's scrap. Your visits have been scarce and you've kept to your own dinner. Well, I suppose I'm still licking my wounds, proverbially speaking. Last week's incident was something of an embarrassment. Well, I just wanted to check in, see if you were okay. I'll be fine. I just need to settle this damn pride of mine. Thank you, son. Doctor. Oh, you're welcome, I suppose. Hunting season seems to be winding down. It would seem we're likely to have a handful more weeks before the wildlife begins to clear up. Do you ever share your rations with the dogs? They do the hunting after all. Only right they reap some of the spoils. They have their own rations. I'm sure they prefer my cooking to that broth. You may try them. I won't stop you. Them. Say to them. Say to them. Say to them. Say to them. Can I not hunker down later? Lockdown camp. I didn't think I'd need to start doing this now. Maybe because I agreed with him then? Anything left? Guess you have to. Develop freezing. Winter. Freezing on this letter. Freezing on this letter. Freezing on this letter. Freezing on this letter. Everybody is freezing. Munch is no longer malnourished. Yay! Dick is freezing. Dawn is freezing. We're having a freezing our tits off party. Let's go. Big 21. 1 week at 3rd camp. Act 2. 13 dog. Captain. Person. Crew have settled down for the long winter. It'll be many months before the canopy is removed and further travel across the ice will be possible. In winter. The crew will be here for quite some time. The winter is long and cold and carries out in complete darkness. One can lose track of the days and are known to go mad. The crew are tough. They are fair. The rest of the crew, they see this as a break from their work. They've braved the dangers of a shipwreck on the end of the ice of the creatures set to kill and maim. The cold and dark are but another challenge the crew are sure to overcome. Before the winter set in, the navigator and the engineer came to blows in public amongst them, quite literally. Were the blows as the men had to be separated by the crew. Should not hang over. That behaviour has no place. This is a reflection on my firm. Professional disagreement turning uncivil is not unheard of, particularly in a high-pressure situation. Both men still carried for his best interests at heart. The tensions seem to have calmed since the incident. The coldest part of the world has now entered its coldest stage. In the winter, even words and time have reason. The doctor is likely to have his hands full in the coming months dealing with frostbite among the crew. I only hope the young man is prepared for such a task. Tad for us. Jeez, must have taken all the sail from the ship, which I guess they probably would have. We hold up here for quite a while. At least there's less work on our plates. We should be careful with the lamp. It'd be hard to set the canopy. And then we certainly wouldn't want to trap gloomy one. Sorry, just cautious. This, it's like we're under one big tent. Yes, I suppose so. So, no more hunting then? For the foreseeable future, yes. Alright, here's hoping we have enough food to last us. Yes, let's. For the canopy, it's almost cozy. If you ignore that it's colder than ever, yes. What I wouldn't give to have a nice flask of hot cocoa at the time. Why did you have to mention it? Now, it's all I want. Well, best safe for home, eh? We'll be holed up for a while. At least it means some rest. You say that now, but you'll miss the chance to stretch your legs. Most likely, but for now, I'll embrace them. Do you hear noise? Hear those winds? Nothing quiet about the winter, my friend. Also, nothing quiet about being stuck with you. Ha! True. Where's the beasties? Earning their rest, something they may make a habit of in the coming weeks. Aye, and you're finally afforded a break from only seeking a modicum of heat. Best you get used to that too. Long winter ahead. Indeed. Girls! Pat the doggo! Pat the doggo! Pat the doggo! Look here, Hammond and you. Well, Captain, sun won't be getting up for a while. Welcome to our new home. Aye, this canopy ain't pretty, but you'll do us right. Better than being stuck out in a blizzard. That, I believe, we can agree on. It's a strong one, aye, worse than any I've seen. We'll have to keep an eye out for rips in the outer canopy. Don't want the heat seeping out, or the cold ripping in. You see a single hole, you grab whatever you can to fix it. Best we heed their warnings, Captain. This tarpaulin is old and has clearly seen better days. Well, why didn't you use the sails from the ship? Captain, I hope you are becoming accustomed to our new setup. It will be some time before we can leave this canopy. 21 weeks. I assume you've been taking track of the time. It's been 21 weeks since we first set sail. 18 more weeks to rescue, correct? Yes. Winter will be long, but I feel it won't. Feel as such. Even thoughts can freeze out here. I think the weeks will pass before you know it. Still, you have been in command for quite some time now. It has made for interesting observation, at least. And you've been making your judgment. Good observations, I hope. Templeton flicks through the pages of these notes. Still believe it was unwise to claim Haint had abandoned the crew, no matter how truthful it seemed to be. To disparage the man's character did no favors for you amongst the sailors. What would say he's dead? You're right. I didn't say anything that wasn't true. Yes, that was a mistake. Templeton flipped through his papers. I must commend you for your action during the incident with the leopard seal. Cool-headed and preparedness meant we were able to avoid disaster. Kudos. Flicks through the pages. It will be a long time before winter clears, but when it does, we will be closing in on our rescue point, which is also the last known location of the Viscount, if you may recall. Think we can still find it? Wonder if Hunt was still headed in that direction. Hunt, no, I doubt that. The man had little faith in the expedition. I wonder. Do you still hope to find the Viscount? No matter. Spoken it. Best we get back to work. Is that the same compass you carried in your third field? It is indeed, except it's the other way around. I'm surprised you're able to pick up on those details. Well, I've seen them quite a few times. My family purchased a print of the thought of Through the White... My family purchased a print of Through the White Wastes for private screening, so I'm quite accustomed to it. Through the White Wastes? Ha! You must have been this tall when the film came out. Maybe shorter. That canvas pack of yours, that must be 30 years old by now. Ha! I know to keep my equipment well maintained. You're the same, aren't you? Of course, I never let my trusty camera ever get scratched. You know, we barely had a budget for that first film. Most thought the idea was set for disaster. I had to get the sponsor of tinned beans to even get the expedition off the ground. I remember those adverts. Newspapers ran them for quite a while, in fact. I had some newspaper clippings for research, building a portfolio. I think one of those adverts is in the folder. Why would you need so much research? Seems a bit much for one expedition. Well, this is for something else. That is? Well, it's something shameful to admit, but I keep a record of some historical figures that I have hopes on one day, well, writing a biography on. A biography? Yes, I know it's getting ahead of myself, but I'd like to prepare for projects that are in the realm of possibility. Maybe? Ha! I would like to see that. A historical figure, eh? I would say you fit the criteria. Flattering, but it does make me sound old. Just send one out. See what happens. Still do summer hunting, I guess. Guessing they will just come back. Ask the engineers. Your engineers just doing cold, freezy things. Oh, that will freeze. Last of the coal. Turn. Hopefully they don't all come back freezing, because that'll be annoying. That. All for dinner, let's see what happens. Have them. Doggo! Crew return to their posts. A long dark choose to spend your evening? Oh, in the canopy. So always make sure I've got a bunch of people to do that. How do you say this one? Acceleration. You said that this was a simple book. You certainly picked an interesting time to start reading. I'd bet it's too dark to see anything most of the time. What brought on the need to learn? Not gonna be strong forever. Whaling work will dry up. Still got time to learn something else. Thinking of going for a stroll? What? You're staring at the exit for a while. Right. You alright? Yes, I'm going... It's going to be a long winter, isn't it? Should be. And the food we have now will last us, right? But what are you getting at? Well, nothing. Nutley scuttles off, returning to his... You see that, Shaw? Something's up with the doctor. Don't like it.
Arf, arf. Arf.
Miss Cordell, would you be able to calm that thing down? I'm attempting to make note of the day's work. The move has left Starberry overstimulated. Nothing, and with nowhere to take them... bored. How long before the creature tires itself out? A pack down can remain active for several hours without taking a rest. Then it will calm down? Perhaps. Then another is likely to act out again. No, I can't get her voice tonight. How is anyone to have any work done in their presence? You will grow used to it, learn to focus your mind. I'm focused on my duties at all times. No issue.
Arf.
Ah, Captain, we're set in for quite a few weeks. We'll have something good to pass the time. All sports are out of the question, considering the circumstances. Perhaps we can share stories of expeditions past. I have quite a few up my sleeve. That would be nice, Kurt. I'd love to hear some. I prefer to sit through these. Can you manage that I don't have any stories, mate? I'd love to hear some of your tales. That would be spiffing! Though we may be here for quite some time. Better I get through them at a reasonable pace. I wouldn't want to waste every story I have in a single evening. Oh well, I'll let you get back to work for now. Doctor, you're back. You wandered off soon after dinner. Is something on your mind? No, I was just planning to get an early night. Oh, well, good then. Yes. This one doesn't... Oh no, he's in the doctor's, isn't he? No, he's not in the doctor's. He might die. We'll have to see. Freezing. Frostbite. Freezing. 4 weeks at third camp. To the camp. Mr. Templeton, would you happen to have a spare pen? Would you? It's so cold, the ink in my own froze up. I'm afraid I have the same issue. Blast it! I'll have to warm it up by the furnace. Heard I've had to make more concentrated effort to track the days of late. By my estimate, we're not even a third of the way through. Yes, I wonder if there will be indeed rescue waiting for us at the end. Harriet, now isn't the time for doom and gloom. Of course, but I can't help but think of the Viscount. The Viscount? Yes, I'm certain they expected rescue to arrive as well. Oh, fuck me. Don't be saying that. How's the mutts doing? Overstimulated, bored, cramped. They will grow used to it in time. What is the state of the boiler? Cramped, but it works. Nobody's dying. Good to hear. Thought I heard that one howling through the night. Starberry? I doubt it. Starberry is remarkably well behaved. Low bar for those animals. Better behaved than most of this crew. Again, low bar. You notice anything about the doc lately? Since winter started, he seemed off. More than usual. I think we should have words. Just a sec. I've had it. I've had enough. Night after night, week after week, those salters. Isaac, some decorum, please. Apologies, but I can't take their presence any longer. Loud, disruptive, and they leave behind after. I just want some peace and privacy. Is that too much to ask? Captain, I implore that you relocate me to another tent anywhere else, as long as it's away from them. We are a crew. If you can't live peacefully with the sailors, if it's so important to you, then you will be moved elsewhere. How about close to the kennels with the docks? Fine. Honestly, the dogs would be preferable at this rate. Lefty. Captain, I hate to do this, but do you mind moving me to a new spot? It's getting awfully cold and these iron bowls are starting to creak. I'm not own special treatment, but I'd like to be close to the boiler for warmth. I see no problem. Sorry, but you have to bear it. It gets better from here. Everyone is cold, Lefty. It's not that good. Let's hope so. Right. Captain, do you mind if I move to a different tent? Worried about the boiler. I'd like to be on hand in case of an emergency. Be able to move me closer. Probably shouldn't let the other guy, but yeah. It muddies the waters to move you now. Please make with it. You're never too far from the boiler. There's no need to change. Sir Templeton, need to do something about Arthur. Arthur? The doctor. Right, yes, Dr. Nutley. Is that Craven up to? What do you mean? I wasn't aware it was proving issue. What do you mean? Since winter started, he seems unwell. I think the pressure is starting to get to him. I'm surprised to see you coming to us with this issue. I didn't take you to show concern to a high-class landlord. He's a good lad, means well. Besides, he's part of the crew. Hunt picked him out. Well, it's no secret that the good doctor carries a nervous temperament. Do you think it's beginning to affect his own health? I'm not alone. Junior, Belford, and Darling will think so too. Then it's quite noticeable. No, I'll have words with him. Nutley has been that way since we landed. He's made it. If the doctor can't hack it, that's his problem. No, I'll have words with him. Good. Better sooner than later, talk to him. Lad's barely hanging in. Captain Templeton, I heard through the grapevine our good doctor was having a spot of bother. Indeed. You may just be able to help. You know the boy well, don't you? I should say so. How long have we been on the ice together now? Then you may just be the right man for the job. We're concerned about the doctor's temperament. He's slowing down in his work and may threaten stopping altogether. Well, his own health comes above his work, wouldn't you agree? Both a matter of grave importance. You will speak with him then. I'm afraid that might be beyond me, Richard. What? It's the captain's duty to consult the crew. Kurt is right, Templeton. He's not the man for the job. You've spoken to Nutley before. It's the captain's duty. Right you are, Robin, but it's not just that. I've spoken to the lad quite a bit, but I've never made it through to the boy. A tough nut to crack. I might not have the right disposition for it. Why is it bad? Too soft, I say. Excuse me! You treat him too softly. The young man's a doctor. He does not need to be handled with gloves. What he needs is someone to remind him of the duty behind his role, not sugared words. The boy's temperament is hanging by a thread, and you want sure to approach him with a saw? You said it yourself. A gentle method proves ineffective. I said no such thing. Kurt is right. Nutley requires encouragement. Templeton is right. No use arguing. We will see what fares best when I have words with him. Understood. I suppose what presents itself in the moment is best. Yes! No good playing with hypotheticals, is there? I trust your judgment, Captain. Best leave the talk until after dinner. No need to interrupt his work. Please let me know how you fare, Captain. Best of luck. Poor doctor. Probably going to be like his mother's birthday or something. About a quarter of the way into the winter by my count. You have a different count by chance? No. Damn, well I was hoping you'd bite. That's single tier. Always meant to ask Mr. Templeton, what precisely is your area's expertise? Botany. Odd. Well, so, botany is the study of plants, correct? Not an abundance of players out on the ice. The meteorologist, the biologist, I understand, but why were you chosen? I have a much wider range of knowledge outside my field. I was chosen to be the head of the scientists of this expedition. By the benefactor, of course, correct? Yes. Which reminds me, just who is the benefactor of yours? I asked Hunt often, but he always avoided the question. He avoided most of what we asked. You ask many questions. Exactly what Hunt said. You seem adamant not to answer. I do not see it as irrelevant information. Everything is relevant, Mr. Templeton. You can only hide secrets for so long. We will see about that. Oh fuck! Oh no.
I'll feed it a seal.
Yeah. Oh! Crew have their meal. That's annoying. Can I still send... Chosen who to spend the evening. Can still exist. Okay, that's fine. Feed them. Turn in a second. That's a bigger boy. I can hunt some more Celililil. Fishy fishes. That is... I think I'll just stick them with the doctor. Captain, is there an issue? We're worried about you, Arthur. I hope not. It's time to evaluate. We need to talk. Oh, right. Captain, I must apologize. For what? No, I'm not what you would have asked for in a ship's doctor. I'm nervous, my mind is often scattered. The sight of blood, well, it makes me faint. Hardly the qualities befitting a surgeon, are they? No, it's a wonder you could... You're a fine surgeon, nonetheless. Captain, there's something I must confess. The reason Hunt took me on against all other candidates, well, it's because of my father. Your father? Yes. Well, you see, my father was Hunt's barber. They were quite friendly, and well, my father called in a favor. Some favor that proved to be who would sign their son up for this work, and you know that for certain. You think it's more likely that Hunt was repaying his barber than simply the fact that you earned the work? Yes. Sorry. My father was so proud when I took this expedition, believed it would finally toughen up his boy. He always was obsessed with that. No matter what I did for him, it always came back to how tough I was or wasn't. But you can see how well that worked out, can't you? I have no issue with your work. Is that all? You can't face your... I don't care about your personal issues. I care about your... I've had no issues with your work. Captain, there's no need to protect my self-worth. I know where I stand. Some of the crew have been quite kind to me, too kind. But whether it's harsh words from Templeton or pats on the back from Kurt, their eyes are the same when they look at me. A burden, mouth to feed. You've convinced yourself up of that, Arthur. It's a self-defeating outlook. You're no burden, you're the only doctor. So, prove them wrong. But I don't believe they are. I've tried, but I have to accept it. My cowardice leaves me a drain on the crew's resources. Selfishly so. Perhaps it's better of me to at least stop this. You're talking. Best not suggest what I think. Get some rest. No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. I suppose I've been acting foolish. Now isn't the time to lose my nerves. What remained of them? Sorry for worrying, Captain. Nutley walks off, making his way back to his tent. Clearly much is on the doctor's mind. Why are you so pressed up against that lamp, trying to read? It's too dark for anything like that. Missing your home, aren't you? Wherever that is. Not long now. Hope we can hope. Captain, I have heard mutterings among the crew, raised concern. Hear that our rations of tobacco are finally running dry. The crew have already been on edge since the beginning of this winter. I doubt this will improve matters. Mr. Hammond and the sailors have been awfully fond of the liquor. I have spotted them trading some of their food rations for more. Ridiculous, I know. The Appleton Company did well to supply us this long, at least. I never understood why tobacco was included amongst the tinned rations in the first place. Waste could have included more food. Well, the crew will have to live without it. Yes, it was remarkable. I was even able to last as long as it has. Hunt must have consumed a quarter of the supply in his time with shipload. That lot are quite addicted to it. A simple plant carries so much control over them. Personally, I never much cared for it. I tend to avoid any substance that could affect my body's chemistry. Still, I have odd respect for the leaf. There is something admirable about a plant that can steer human behavior so strongly. No wonder our benefactor saw it wise to supply them in abundance. I heard the sailors complain about the quality of tobacco. They'd smoke away regardless. Tobacco, tin food, our benefactor has their hands in many affairs, don't they? How did they manage to produce so much tobacco? It's as you expected, Captain. Just as they funded the expedition, so too they funded countless ventures, countless discoveries. That is how the business operates. Do you believe they were simply fortunate enough to have peaches growing in their back garden? They sound more ambitious than your average fruit salesman, that's for certain. It's almost concerning. It seems to me that they're living stealing from others. Of course, I'm not naive. There is no reason to be concerned. You may have doubts, Captain, but I understand. Do I approve of their eagerness to mine natural resources to sell them off at the cost they do? No. However, I also understand that commodification? Commodification is the vehicle to scientific study. I have all the money I need to research these plants. I have seen several breakthroughs and discoveries that would not be possible without their financial aid. If, in return, I must provide them with a commodity to mass produce and sell off, so be it. I consider that a mutually beneficial arrangement for all involved. I think you're just deluding yourself. It seems truly bad. The good outweighs the bad. I'm glad you understand that, Captain. I find the nuance of the arrangement is lost on most. I apologize, Captain. It's not like me to ramble like this. I suppose the tension of this winter has begun to affect me as well. Perhaps a cigarette would help even myself. Perhaps I simply need a good night's rest. Good evening, Captain. I apologize for stumbling over some of the words. I can read it in head, and then my mouth goes blah 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 blah. It's like, ah, yes, I know what that word is and what it means. Now, how do I pronounce it again? Enter the request tent. Ding. You will develop freezing. I don't think I sent anybody to get anything this time, so that's fine. Rest and available set out. The winter continues. Mr. Gloss, cured of the mouse. Cured of their frostbite. Speaking, raised no longer demoralized. Forum, now freezing, now freezing, now. 8 weeks at 3rd camp. 5 decorum. Winter can't be over soon enough. This is the longest I've gone without any proper exercise. Well, winter has granted me plenty of time to read by lamp. Perhaps one should use this time to exercise their mind instead. Hells! What? That's the most obnoxious thing you've said so far. It's almost impressive. Slammed! Mr. Hammond, in my hand is a write-up I've been working on over winter, intended for our benefit. It would be good for you to have a look over the material. Let me know if there's anything missing. Aye, sure thing. Oh, without dripping oil everywhere if you can. Research is quite important. And my work isn't? Of course it is. Could you attempt to clean your hand at least? With that bloody ice water, I'm certain I have a cloth somewhere. Here, take this as your own. Aye, thanks. That hand cloth was actually embroidered by... Don't care. Captain, could you move me to a new tent? I'm stuck with Dar all winter. I thought it proper to place you with your family. I'm not a child. You most certainly are. Well, I don't need him looking over my shoulder all the time. Sir, you need your own space then. I can't... Can you, Captain? Very well, we'll relocate you. Tucker. Is Tucker loyalty? Captain Shaw. Oh goodness. You're out of breath. Calm yourself. Is it an emergency? Well, this might sound mad. Out with it! I saw it, clear as day. I looked out into the snow when I saw it. What? The... Benoir? Benoir? Well, Captain, next order of business is... I'm not joking. I know it sounds mad, but I saw it. 12 feet tall, covered in thick, bushy white hair. No such creature exists. The winter has clearly gotten to fucking polar bears. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me too. What if they weren't? What if there is a beast like that? If we caught it, we could feed us for 3 winters, no 4. You are not suggesting a winter hunting party. We won't travel far, Captain. Think about it. Well, as long as you don't wander off into the blizzard. Fuck it. Yep, let's go hunt a random werebeast. We'll keep the unexplored winter. Who knows what we might find. Nothing but death and ruin. This is ridiculous. Gnomes, Tucker, Gravy, and Red Stubby are hunting. Brah. Captain. Templeton. Mr. Higgs. Call me Tucker. Mr. Higgs is fine. Is there something you require? Must be nerve-wracking in here all day. Well, I say day. Can't tell what time it is anymore, can you? I suppose not. Must fry your head, Captain, does it? It's not too bad. I've grown... What? Templeton. He can't be quite... He can... What's Templeton? He can be quite the bully. Is there a point? Are you... It's not too bad. I've grown used to it. I suppose it's been long enough now. I'm sorry, Mr. Higgs. Did you come here with a request or not? The days barely exist anymore. Nothing to do around here but pass the hours. So you have nothing to request? Nah. You've simply come here to make idle chatter? Aye, nothing better to do. Captain, should embrace this free time while you can. It won't last. Go play cards with the others, but don't waste our time with this game. If you want to pass the time, then you'll be happy to clean out after. It'll be the 15th game this week, but I will not keep you from your work any longer. Captain, it seems the winter is beginning to take its toll on the crew. We should take greater care to ensure they keep their minds active. We still have a good deal of winter to work through. You done with that book yet? Almost. Do you want to trade? Alright, but you'll need to send it back to Mr. Zack when you're done. Okay, and you have to return this to Dr. Nutley? Oi, old man, today's your birthday, isn't it? Surprised you still know what day it is. But these old bones grow even older. Can't imagine what surprises you've planned. I actually asked Grimly to carve a wooden whale for you before we set off. Oh, and where is it? Went down with the ship. Ha! Well, it's the thought that counts. So glad I did the thing that heals the freezing. Interview. Shouldn't get cold, should they? I can hunt them there too. Okay, cool. Save it. I should have waited. We have them. Speak to him first. Step out of the tent, you notice Nutley approach. Captain, I've been thinking a great deal over the last while. I want to thank you for speaking with me when I needed it. I've certainly made this expedition more difficult than it had right to be from previous captains. For that, I'm sorry, Captain. No need to be, I'm happy to see you. Since Nutley, not a single one of the crew has done it. I owe you a great debt. I wonder how my father is doing. On the other side of the world, I wonder if he's thinking. My mother and sister too. That there's so much I must return to. Pauses for a moment before presenting you with an envelope. Captain, if I fail to make it back to the world, would you be able to bring this letter to my father? You take the letter from Nutley's hand and give him it. The doctor gives you a note. Thank you, Robin. I hope I won't need to do this. Anything I should know about your father, I will make sure this makes it. I hope it won't need to do this. Nutley gives you a nod as he makes his way back into his tent and you make your way back to the camp. The letter rests in your hand. Don't read it. Is the winter over yet, Dar? Are we there yet? Oh, you're sick of it, eh? I was sick of it when it started. I want to move. Not much longer now, I'm sure. I've noticed something. And what? And what is that? Yeah, Irish. What's that? Looking at some of the old photographs, a few of the dogs have grown quite a bit since we first landed. We have been here for quite some time, yeah. Irish. We've been here for quite some time, yes. I'll be interested in seeing the time lapse. Do not expect the rest of us to grow taller as well. But that reminds me, I've never interviewed you yet, and you just might be the most interesting member of the crew. I'm not a member of the crew. There's no need to interview me. I disagree. Is that so? There's so too much I'm curious. What led to the dog handling. Why the accent? Why are you a Lady Cordell? I do recall the figure of speech regarding curiosity and the cat, yes? I thought you were more of a dog person. That was a joke. I'm aware. I take it then that you're not interested in answering my questions. Not in the slightest. Understood. Oh, need to do that. I will sendeth some people out hunting. See. Some people out hunting. Do that later. Got the doctors. Feed the posh of the hot. Feedeth the fat. Ah, that's what it's going to do. Do that. That's it for now. Minus fucking 47. No 3 crew will develop freezing, but I can deal with that. Time for 3 elephant seals. The dogs are resting available soon. Freezing on the sled hunt. Freezing on the sled hunt. Was wounded while looking for the briny. Parker was wounded while looking for the briny. Looking for the briny. Okay, they all got hurt. You freezing on the sled hunt. Freezing on the sled hunt. Apparently, hunting for things is kind of a silly idea, apparently. Don't go hunt the random thing. Everybody gets hurt somehow. You can know normal hunting, but not whatever that hunting was. I must say, Doctor, something in your walks as of late, you're holding your head high. Thank you. I'm sure you're as eager as the rest of us. Not long now before we'll be able to stretch our legs outside. Okay. On that subject, I was running a few physical examinations in preparation for returning to work. Do you mind? Of course not. This won't take long, I hope. It shouldn't. Everybody, yeah, freezing, wounded, freezing wounded, freezing wounded now. He's having a fun time! Freezing wounded, freezing. Mourn. Winter might be finally be clearing up, eh? About time. Gods, remember when those bloody penguins showed up at the camp? It seems an age now. Feeling nostalgic. Not much longer now. We've certainly come a long way. Aye, but don't be getting sentimental. Can't wait to be getting moving on again. Arik III. Captain, I should apologize for my design a few weeks back. As you should, not a single sighting of the beast of yours. All we've got is cuts from the blizzard to show for. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I was certain I'd seen something. The longest darks can play tricks on the mind. I'm disappointed in Captain Shaw. Such delusions should never have been encouraged. Right, I'm sorry. Again. I know I shouldn't have, but I wanted to see if they fucking got, like, attacked by a polar bear or something. Except we're in the South Pole. Why the fuck would I think they get attacked by a polar bear? Captain, I was running a standard physical examination on well. I requested that you meet me in the medical tent this evening. Is there an issue? Why not present it here? The individual involved would rather this be handled privately. Apologies for sounding so cryptic, just later after dinner. I must admit I'm curious what the doctor has encountered that requires your summons. Well, I needn't pry. A private matter is a private matter. Let's heal some boyarinos. Okay, what do we got? Freezing, freezing. Do that. Feed the food pot. The what? 7? Oh, I should be at 100. No, 90. 90. Yeah, twice. Good math. I do the good math. Got the scientists. Oh, I could just go hunt these guys. Oh, I always feel bad sending the old man out. The old man can stay. You're looking for stuff. Medical. I need to. I'll wait. Just in case some rips open up, then we might have some problems. The crew have their meal. Crew return to their posts, the longer dark. Choose to spend your evening. Might be him. He's old! Poor old man. It's a poor old man! Ah, Captain, don't let the cold in. Captain Shaw, not... To what do we owe this fish? Kasha, this is actually a private matter. Do you mind giving us the tent for a moment? Oh, very well. Kasha, sorry, I don't think this is worth getting the crew worried. You best not be dying, Kurt. Ha! Perish the thought. I noticed an arrhythmia in his heart. It's difficult to determine the cause without further examination. But as it stands, my current diagnostics is cardiomyopathy. So for the person that's watching that has been doing medical things, anybody that could be possibly watching there, comment in the chat what cardiomyopathy is and let me know, because I've got no idea what cardiomyopathy is. It would be very helpful indeed. Years of adventure finally catching up to the old trickster. Hey, well, it could be genetic. Bah, that's just a guess. Still, some unusual rhythm is not an issue. Have you experienced shortness of breath while sitting down? Well, fatigue, a sudden cough when you lie down, dizziness. I noticed some swelling in your ankles as well. Who's to say that? Kurt, please, I'm trying to help. Yes, I've experienced that. What does this mean? Well, it's manageable, but you'll have to take it easy for the rest of the expedition. Bah! No more hauling equipment. Very well. If you're offered a drink by the crew, refuse. Tough, but fair. And, well, it's my belief that Kurt is not fit to lead a lifeboat once we set off. Now, Doctor, that's just not possible. I'm the navigator. Can't honestly expect anyone else to handle that sort of duty. The short sail, Nutley. Surely Kurt can rest once we make it land. Nutley has a point, Kurt. You can at least provide guidance, Kurt. Yes, but leading the boats are a separate matter entirely. I can't foreplan the entire sail. Your health comes first, Kurt. The entire crew's health is at risk if I'm not navigating those boats. Kurt, I won't mince words. You could die. We all could. don't want to argue with you, Arthur. We won't be getting anywhere doing so. It's up to you, Captain. That's true. Do you think it's worth the risk? You're not in... You're... I order you to take rest. If you feel fit to continue, we'll reach land. Then you may. But I won't argue. I trust your judgment, both of you. Thank you for seeing reason, Kurt. Thank you, Doctor. It was a good catch. Oh, and let's not tell the crew about this, will we? I don't need them fussing over it, and a man is due his privacy. I'll respect that. I suppose I should get an early night, then. Kurt exits. Almost over now. What? I remember when the wind would scare the shit out of you. You'd hide under your blankets and cry until it went away. Don't tell anybody that, Embarrassed? I'm all grown now. You're plenty of growing still ahead, Timmy. But hey, you're getting there. What's with you? You've got a keen eye on the medical tent. It's nothing that concerns you. Or you, apparently. Are you both bothered yet being shut out of a meeting for once? Ha! Yeah! I don't care much for secrecy. Coming from you, that's bloody rich. Got drugs to do. It's electrifying. Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to do the medical concoctions. Oh fuck! Good thing I'm making some more. What do I have anyway? Would have plenty. Plenty of research notes too. Fuck it. I'll send them and then do what I can for healing people. I need 4 people. We have 3. Do it next week. In. We woke to the sound of distant knocking. Seems one of the dogs has been excited by something. You sprint from your tent. You aren't alone in being awoken by the dogs. The center of the campsite, crack begins to form, followed by more spreading out. The dogs leapt from the kennels, sprinting southward. Wait! Wait! Cordell runs across the tracks in pursuit of the dogs. The ice ships beneath you. You hear the sounds of something falling, then smashing. The lamps. Hells! What the fuck is this? Oh no, the flow is splitting. Quick! We need to move now! No wasting time! Nutley and Cash rush out from the medical tent. Nutley carries his bag slung over his shoulder while Cash's hands filled with notes. What is this? Ice is splitting! That's all... That all of your work? What I could carry, yes. Not good. Your tent's going under. What? No! My equipment. Do not go back that way, either of you. Understand? Templeton turns to Kurt. How should we handle this? Captain, we need to get out of this tent as soon as possible. Everything past that point is going to be swallowed up. You heard the man. Everybody, haul what you can. Move! The crew get to work on the furnace and lifeboats, hauling as fast as they can. The ice advances. The ice splits further. The tent sinks below. Or did we just lose everything? The canopy collapses. The crew barely make it out of the burning tarp. A few sustain burns and bruises from the frantic escape. Might be because I set up... shouldn't have been, because it was fucking winter. Why'd that happen? Because it's story time. Sorry, I'm just testing my bloods. take some dragos. We've settled a new camp by the shore. New camp has been formed in the aftermath of the ice splitting at the close of the However, the crew cannot rest at this time. After a long journey, the shore has been reached. In the coming week, the crew will sail out on the lifeboats in search of proper land. Soon this ice shall be left behind. The ice split. The ice split proved to be a truly traumatic experience for the crew. The fact that the crew escaped with all their lives intact is nothing short of extraordinary. A freak accident. None of this would have prepared for such a thing. Same cannot be said for our. Should have been. The ice does not care about the crew's presence. It is an arbitrary thing, a simple force of nature. It will move as it does regardless. None could have predicted what happened. For those that wonder why the fuck I burp so much, it's because of the insulin. Apparently, that makes you gassy, which is something I didn't know about, but yeah. That's fun. At least it's that end and not the other end. I guess. The crew has reached the shore, but now a great challenge presents itself. The ice beneath our feet will not hold much longer. It is destined to break apart and tear as it did before. Solid ground must be reached in search of the point of rescue. At that end, the crew must sail out onto the open sea. Trust the crew's capabilities. Get to this, we can only hope they're like the flood lifeboat. Give me like 20 seconds, guys. I have drugs that I need to go and get. This one. So I'll be back. Returned. Life-giving nectar. Something I could do. Those that are interested, I have I have one of my pens because they make it in replaceable ones. So a little canister like this. Been in the fridge, so it'll be real fun. Stick it in my body. This screws out. It gets pushed down there. And that plunger pushes the little thing up. So, in there. Prepared, so I'll prime it until a bit comes out. Go, and now I can stab myself with really cold liquid. It's not fun. Team of fitted and well-experienced sailors alongside a navigator of the caliber of Kurt Darling. Though it may seem daunting, this sail may prove to be the most comfortable task for the crew. Sailing is their lifeblood. They are more comfortable, more equipped for this than anything else. Check the lifeboat several times over, Captain. They're as ready to sail as they're ever going to be. A good while ago, I'd have had total faith in the vessels. Now I'm less so. Keep the faith, keep the faith. Oh, no, keep the faith. So, do we really have to go out on the water? You're scared? Yes. Can't exactly get to land without crossing, can we? Ice breaks off and moves. In the right direction? Maybe not. Heading out soon. Aye. Nervous? We have to be careful. We don't know these waters. Well, chin up. Better look confident for the crew. Oh, Captain, I'm just triple-checking my notes. I'll kick myself if I end up leaving anything behind on the ice. Now, I hope my report doesn't take a dip in the ocean. Smell the air, Doctor? If this holds, there'll be no better time for a sail, let me tell you. Well, isn't that fortunate? Ha! Kurt, please be careful out there. I will. think I can do it. I cannot do that anymore. I missed my chance to go and hunt little sealy boys. Nutley. Captain, a few injured from the split ice. I've managed to arrange a small batch of crates to treat me. Well, Doctor, quite ingenious of you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Templeton. Well, unfortunately, we won't be able to make any more comforts, but I will treat whoever I can. Captain, we've got a problem. How urgent? The bloody compass, they don't work. Excuse me? None of them. They've all gone haywire just after winter cleared. Mr. Hammond, we're due to set off on the water. We cannot wait on the ice a moment longer. You think I don't know that? Shit! Calm down. We have a clear sight line of land. We don't need a compass. Can we not wait a while? Every step of this has been plagued with misfortune. You know how easy it is for the waves to turn us around? What if fog rolls in? Mr. Hammond, do you have any idea what is causing the error? Looks like the case of magnetic interference. But that can't be right, can it? We've come further south than anyone in history. This may be just the case closer to the pole. We best hope for good fortune. Hope? Great. We sail in on bloody hope. A word, Captain. Speaking of the animals. In all my many years, I don't believe I've heard of dogs being able to sail the seven seas. Have you? I'm not sure. These dogs might be different. No, I can't say I have. One of us is going to have to break the news to the kennel master. The dogs will not be joining us on the ocean. You don't think that has crossed my mind? Certainly, but you understand what must be done. So I assume you'll help me do the dirty work. Indeed I do. Indeed I do. Yes, it is time we inform Cordell. You break the news, I'll speak to her afterward. Cordell isn't a fool. I'll let her know. If we have the I think I have the loyalty. She should stay with you, I think, if you have her loyalty. That's so pretty. Fucking look at that art, guys. Play the game and look at how pretty the snow is. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Puppies. No resources. The animals are eagerly trained on the penguin fillet in Cordell's hand. He notices you approach. I was hoping to speak with you. The dogs scramble as she launches the meal across them. I understand you're going to shoot my dogs, aren't you? Your opinion on the matter. Is that so? She looks across the animals. I'm no fool. Just don't want them to suffer. They've been through so much already. Animals continue to scramble over the fillet. These dogs have known me their entire lives. She points to the dog tearing the fillet from its sibling. I used to carry that one around in me pocket as a pup. You have any children, Captain? I don't. None that I know of, at least. I have dogs. I've had dogs of my own. You should understand. Stand very joyous. Don't mean to sound cliche, Captain, but they're all I have. Can't no more animals if you're dead. The dogs, you have us, Cordell. You think us some sort of found family? I fear to disappoint you, Captain. I've known you lot for several months. Not the best of months either. I'm trying to do what's best for the crew. Can't take them on. There simply isn't enough room, I know. So, what's to happen to them? One of those boats is yours, should you wish. Take it in the night. I won't stop you. I'm not killing the dogs. Fuck you, the dogs don't die unless they get eaten by polar bears when they go free. But I don't know whether to... It's making me sad, guys. Don't be ridiculous. That would be a death sentence. I'll stay here. Let nature take its course. It won't last long out here, sure. We've seen stranger things already. They might outlive us all. We need the ammunition if we're not armed. If we perish at the sea, I'd like to think someone made it at least. Have to chase them off. At least they try to follow the sailboats into the water. You begin to make your leave. Robin? Yes? I'm ashamed to ask, but I implore you this one mercy. She ruffles Starberries. May I keep one? Just one. Fine, but if this you may, you can stay, Starberry. I need my replacement captain after all. Tilts her head at you. Thank you, Captain. I won't forget this. Pet Starberry. You depart across the snow. Word spreads quickly that the dogs will not be joining them for the sail. Many of the crew take this chance to sit with them while they go. Or doggos. The crew have their meal in relative silence. The crew share what little food they have with the dogs. The crew return to their posts. You can choose who to spend your evening with. Mr. Templeton. Those creatures will be left behind come our departure. I wonder if they will attempt to follow us out to sea. I understand Cordell would consider that smarter beasts than that, but I'm not sure. They will die out here. Considering our resources, Templeton, I'd rather preserve our information. That's what's better to give them this. And would you have been willing to pull the trigger for them? I would. I assure you of that, Captain. The Kennel Master has been even more silent than usual after today's event. Understandably so. Perhaps it's best to check on her. Look at you lads. You're tough fellas, aren't you? It's going to be rough out there. Maybe you'll get lucky. Aye, maybe some penguins will flock onto this block, enough to feed them for a year. Hear that? You'll be the top beasties on the iceberg before long. You'll have leopard seals running away in fear. Doesn't seem right letting them go on just to starve. Maybe we should have put them down. Would you have wanted to do that? No, I wouldn't. All right, back to your master. Remember not to run in after us when we leave. You'll get frost nip on your paws. There, good boy. I'm going to miss you all around here. Are we sure we can't bring them with us? Sorry, Timmy, we can't. Fine. Won't be able to pick them up again on the way back. I don't know. Won't be seeing them won't be seeing them when we set off, won't we? Like those mutts better than most of the crew. They always pulled their weight, at least. Miss the wee beasties. Eat up, all of you. You'll be needing your strength for the times ahead. Lady Cordell, is this a bad time? This is my final evening with McKennell. I understand. I won't bother you. It's quite all right. Did you need something? No, I wouldn't ask anything of you at a time like this. It's just I wanted to see how you were concerned for my health, are you? My thoughts are on the final comforts of these dogs. My dogs. They will not see much comfort in the future. They will starve. They will suffer. It would have been kinder to put them down. I could not bear Starberry to suffer such pain. But perhaps they'll find food. Perhaps they'll find a way to live out here. For goodness sake, you're not a child. You know they won't. Right. May I ask you a question? Are the dogs included in that report of yours? Well, yes, I do have them listed by name. I've taken records of their shifts, but that's about it. I don't know much about the pack beyond that. Would you like to? These creatures have lived rich lives. Perhaps that is of less value than the other names in your report. Not at all. They are just part of the crew as any other. They were. Still, tell me about them. I wish to know more. Well, I suppose I should start with Starberry. Starberry was... Some last-minute checks? Nah. No? Not last minute. Last-minute checks come the morning we leave. Oh, well, it doesn't hurt to be thorough. Anything can change. No chances. You seem concerned. Does it hurt to be? No, not at all. You seem to be doing well. Considering the circumstances, I am. Thank you, Grimly. Aye, get some rest. Crab hunter seals. I didn't realize they were still hunting. What? Alright. What? Okay. Watch on my brother's soul. Gosh, almost ready to set out. How are the boats looking, Grimly? Weathered. We had a few. If we had any timber left, I could look at fixing them up. But we'll get there in one piece. Still need to assign the crew to their stations. Plan carefully, sure. Don't know what we'll face out there. Everyone needs to pull their weight. Anything else, Captain? Give Junior Captain Hunt's hand. Pass him. Junior, I want to give you something before we set out. I think Hunt would have wanted you to have this. Junior looks at the hat. A smile creeps up his face. Hunt always had awful taste. Thanks, sure. Anything else, Captain? Thank you both for everything. Kurt, Templeton, Hammond, Kurt, Cordell, Nutley, and Cash are all aboard the largest lifeboat. Grimly and Junior man the other two vessels. Remaining crew must be decided. All living crew must be allocated to the lifeboats before you can set sail. You have 16 left to assign. Three. Actually, so the biggest one can have 2. 4 an H. Set sail. You will not be able to return at this point, are you sure? Aye. Camp is packed up and the lifeboats are prepared to sail. As you glance back to shore, you notice the dogs sitting on the edge. They paw the water, eyeing the boats and their master. Cordell readies a rifle and fires into the air above them. It is enough to scare them off. Everything is ready, Captain. All is left is for you to give the order. Let's get off this blasted ice. I'll see all of you on the other side. It's going to be easy. Keep alert at the mercy of the ice and the ocean. We might not make or make it. You should be prepared. This one. It's 1:15 noon in the afternoon. For some back home, the end of lunchtime. For you, the beginning of a countdown. Consider the boats carrying you through the ice. Try to keep your mind on the mission ahead. Observe the souls on board. Anticipation is quickly melted away from the malevolent stagnation all were feeling on the float. Your past and future seem to shrink against the glaring challenges of the ice ahead. Consider your previous. Allow yourself to enjoy this for but a moment. You grip the tiller firmly. Boom, 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 boom. The boats launch forward, bobbing side to side, parting the inky waters. Stroke. Dum, bum, bum, bum. You're gaining speed now. Stroke. A cadence is reached by all those rowing. The oars lift in unison. Comfortable for most, the crew has arranged the equipment as best they can to lift their sitting positions to account for the raised edges of the boat. It's not long before Nutley begins a periodic ritual of dry heaving over the side of the boat between his turns rowing. Kasha curls over her camera, paranoid of any moisture that may enter its mechanism. Fog finally clears to reveal the ice around. That iceberg is... I don't think that iceberg's supposed to be there. I'm not sure. It just... This couple look like they've loaded in wrong. They're pretty. I know it's because of how it is, but I actually reckon it looks it's like floating icebergs, like, but floating in the air almost, just kind of how it's drawn, and it looks really nice. But now I'm sitting here looking, fuck, that'd be cool, like floating icebergs all around you. Terrifying but profoundly beautiful all at once. By evening, you've nearly escaped the ice. The empty ocean is almost visible on the horizon. Boats lurch. The smell is horrendous, though seemingly enticing to the large gathering of snow petrels. They shoot down from the sky at their leisure, scooping up a meal at a time. They're mackerel ice fish, I think. How do you know that? My father used to take me fishing whenever he could. Hammond stopped rowing momentarily. Are you sure about that, lad? Because you've been puking for the year straight at least. The doctor goes red and tries to prove he can hold it in. Crash frowns her bow, readying the camera. What do you think it means? Doesn't mean anything. A cold current, most likely, where the ice meets the ocean. Grimly calls from his boat. It's a bad omen! The living aren't supposed to be out here. Templeton grumbles to himself something about superstition. With the birds overhead, it's nigh impossible to avoid their droppings. At least it's warmer than the snow, fuck. One finds its way into the doctor's hair. A fresh gastral purge follows suit. Kasha looks to you, uncomfortable, shielding the company. What do you think, Captain? I'm preoccupied with sailing and being shat on in case you... I'm sure there's an explanation, whether we understand it. Sailors have made a career of defying where people shouldn't be able to go. Grimley's no different. I'm no different. She seems satisfied with the answer, taking a photo across the water. Cordell lifts a fish from the ocean and presents it to Starberry. The animal smells it before shying away from the food. She drops it back in the ocean and buries herself in the animal furs. After hours of rowing, you finally reach the open ocean. It's impossible to avoid the stinging spray of the sea as they invade the boats periodically. Everyone is left bailing with whatever they can find. Hats, mugs, even bare hands lift out the water. Crew begin to curse in the night at each other and at the events going on. It's the only means of protest that doesn't interrupt attempts to remain warm. Refuse to fake the dark but allow. Tell the crew that there's no place for such language. Let the sailors sing their slurs in the night. Out here, each should be allowed their own reprieve. Nutley looks to see if you curse and decides it isn't safe. Templeton at least lets out the odd Bosch paragraph. Rogue wave! To look up the music. Lightning flashes to the west, followed by rapturous thunder, underscoring the sounds of the sea. Hold fast! Your screams are lost in the thunder. A large, abrupt wave smashes against the boats. Rogue wave! You just about crest it. A moment passes before the other two lifeboats join you. Every sailor knows the tales of rogue waves, freak anomalies that plague seas such as these. You hear singing started by Junior. It infects the rest of the sailor folk, defiant against the storm. The song is about three sisters dancing to seduce a sailor. Second large wave hits the boat, the same again, just about. The sailors change key, sing with them. You don't know the words, but you'll never forget this tune. Echoing as best you can, the others follow suit from beneath the tarp. Even Templeton sings. Third, final, and largest wave hits the boats. You're lifted near vertical. Hold your breath. Keep singing. The spray enters your lungs. You feel like forever before your boat finally crests the waves. The tiller buckles in your hand. Your eyes burn from the salt of the sea. All three boats make it across. 18 crew available. We finally make land. The navigator is the first to step onto solid ground. He turns to the rest of you, sodden. We've made it, ladies and gentlemen! Land at last. Week 39. Land. Across the ocean. Consider the journey thus. He looks. Oh, jeez, everybody looks fucking. Carpenter sent me. Says we ought to get to building some sort of marker. Can't say I disagree. We've made it further than anyone else. Something to take pride in. I'll get to it on your order. He leaves. It may be in our interests to hold a small common captain. We have come this so far, we should praise ourselves for accomplishing such an impossible task. We have progressed beyond the last known location of the Viscount. Answers to its disappearance may lie on this island. Captain, once we are through here, I would recommend you scout the area for any sign of human activity. For safety, of course. See the engineer tinkering away at some navigation equipment with his usual sour expression. Shit! He places his equipment on the side and lets out a grunt. Damn thing still doesn't work. Do you think it could be the environment? Hammond gives you a sideways glance. Maybe. Couldn't begin to know. Not like we have any bloody experience for this. Not a bloody soul has come this far south. Who knows what's ahead? Having trouble? Kurt approaches a more noticeable limp on the man, forcing him to use his cane. What do you want? Still trying to get the compass working again. Threatened that I might? The look on Kurt's face is one of hesitation, as his eyes dart around, doing all to avoid the gaze of Hammond. I have something to declare regarding my previous actions. Carry on, Kurt. Well, I believe in that in dire circumstances, pride can often take the better of. Stop stalling. What are you trying to say? Just like to apologize over our earlier scrap. We got carried away before, and I can see it did neither of us any good. You're right there. It's not in me to hold a grudge, Hammond. Least of all trapped out in this court. Enough with the appeals. Just spit it out. Why don't you? We should be working together. And more importantly, I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. I apologize. Hammond pauses for a moment while looking towards Kurt. After that moment, he returns to tinkering with his equipment before finally speaking. Accepted. Excuse me? What was that? Apology accepted. You really are the bigger man. So I can... Do you wish to apologize to Kurt, Hammond? Aye, sure. I apologize. Apology accepted, Hammond. Aye, sure. Well, I suppose I'll be off. Best of luck with your adjustments, Hammond. There's no chance of getting them bloody working here. We're relying on you. I'm sure I'm a relic when compared to your machines. I'm relying on you. I see. Kurt steps away, returning to the camp at large. Honored, here we honor the crew of the Temperance, who ventured beyond the Pale Passage and arrived safe. Robin Shaw, Richard Templeton, Clive Hammond, Kurt Darley, Brimley Stoke, Junior Stoke, Lady Cordell, Dr. Arthur Nutley, Kasha Belford, Andre Isaac, Dwight Gosley, Harriet Gosley, Benine Sheridan, John, Timmy Ward, Skylar Pleck, Harold Turner, Paulson Higgs, Raph Dew, Doug Ward, Gareth Fawcetter, Ricky Flogs, Adrian Quillisi, Yorick Moore, and Soren Kepler. Back to the Khan. Inside the Khan, you find a letter, simple supplies, and a bolt-action rifle. Read the letter. To you who finds this message, here lies the final testament of the Viscount. We met our arrival on the eastern shore of the island. Before moving on, we established a cabin to mark the landing point. There you will find enough supplies to support a crew of 20 for a full year. While charting the perimeter of the island, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. Captain Wellen decided to split the crew in order to chart the location for them. His half were elected to enter the cave through the open stream, while we have been sent to mark the western coast on land. I don't trust the captain. His actions of late have been erratic, cagey. He's avoided all questions from myself and the rest of the crew. His behavior has only exacerbated since encountering the cave. Closed is an instrument that may be needed in some time. If you find said instrument to be missing from this cairn, then you will know that the worst has occurred. If you're reading this in our wake, another poor crew sent to this island, heed my advice. Turn back. There is something truly wrong with this land. It has felt the touch of the three sisters, cursed to swallow poor sailors whole. If you are wise, you will not allow it to happen to you. Turn back. Signed, Bertrand Reynolds, head scout of the Viscount. For Dindins. It's Dindins, boys! Crew have their meal. A wave of ease and rest falls over the crew, safe and fed. Crew look to you tired and bruised. You consider what words will bolster them. You all make your way to the marker. Netley approaches you. Captain, we've come a long way, haven't we? You've gone quite a lot in that time. We've still got a mountain ahead of us. Have I? Am I any taller? Before we move on, there's something I have to confess. Something that I've carried on my back this whole time. I don't feel right keeping from you any further, so I'm allowed Captain Hunt to abandon us. Explain. When the ship was going down, I saw him. I watched as he grabbed his supplies and began to take off onto the ice. He saw me but didn't say a word. He knew that I was too spineless to do anything. I couldn't even bring myself to tell anyone. He was right. I was too spineless. Until now, at least. And now you know. Arthur, it wasn't your fault, except no punishment. Deception, assisted mutiny, insubordination, you will never work. I don't care about the mistakes of your past. Learn from this and move forward. I should have known better before, but you're right. I'm sorry the truth had to come out. Do what you will with this information. I'll accept anything you decide. Nutley walks off, returning to his tent. Captain, we have escaped the ice. We're on land. We are so close now. Sure, so very close. We both saw the Karen, Captain. Traces of the expedition which came before us. Sure, I believe we can still find the Viscount. Our mission can continue. Why is finding the ship so important to you? Do you think there's a chance we can... Because some things are greater than the lives of the individual. I've chosen to live by the philosophy my entire career. I know that after all this time, the specifics of your employee may seem inconsequential, but tell me, Captain, do you think the Apatons would pour all of this effort, but put this many lives at risk if they didn't think there was something truly paradigm shifting at the end of it? You still have to the mountain to ascend before making the choice concretely. Ask me again then. I don't think for a second that we aren't finished with I don't doubt it, one way or the other. We'll speak soon. Good luck, Captain. He stops and turns before leaving. One last thing. What happened to your captain's hat? I gave it to Junior. He's earned it after that sale. He leaves. Captain, is there something I should be made aware of? Is this what we're keeping no secrets, if that's what you're implying? Mr. Templeton has been snooping around, interrogating me on my report. It seems we're approaching rescue. He's taken upon himself to approve of what lies in my writing. He has taken upon himself, correct? You didn't set him up to this. Templeton is acting on his own accord. It's good reasons for worrying, Captain. Good to know. I'm no stranger to people who want to omit parts of my work. I saw it plenty when covering the riots, but I have no interest of the censoring of this report. A story not based in the truth is worthless. If I have to leave parts of our fabricate others, then was it a story worth telling in the first place? You could always gloss it up a little. You turn your head to see Kurt approaching, apparently having eavesdropped on your conversation. What do you mean? Well, a story can still be plenty honest, but some require a little bit of polish. What about your films? Weren't the honest accounts of your expeditions? They were, well, more or less. There is no objective truth. After all, the cameras add £10. I'm certain films play up here. Most of it was true, I'm sure. I'm not interested in mostly true. I thought you of all people could understand the truth. You're right, Kurtz shouldn't suggest you lie about this. Don't be so naive, Kasha. There's much of this expedition I don't intend to. You're right. Kurt, I'm suggesting nothing of the sort, but I'm no stranger to the world of show business. What I do isn't show business, Kurt, it's journalism. I've been around both long enough to know they're one and the same. You should hear some of the tabloid rumors I've read about myself in the time. I'm aiming to be better than the gutter press, Kurt. You've been part of countless documentaries. Surely you would care about the presenting the facts. The facts are not immune to artistic license. I can't believe I'm hearing. I'm certain Kirsch has no need to lie in order. Do you wish us to admit your fight with Hammond? The facts are the facts, Kurt. If we look bad, so be it. No, paint this crew positively. Of course, but those who read these sorts of things can tremendously judgmental. What are you suggesting? Why are you suggesting this, Curse? I just feel that we're brave so much that we deserve somewhat flattering write-up, so perhaps some omissions are necessary, such as what? Many of the crew come from backgrounds best not shared with the public, and more has happened that should remain on the ice. The private conversation with Netley. You resigned yourself from the sale. Is that what this is? You want nobody to know about whatever health issue you keep under wraps. Regardless, it will remain. It's not for the public to know, right? Simply stating that for this kind of story, people reading wanted to be inspired. There's no reason to saddle them with the nitty-gritty. But I'm here for a story. That's the full story. No single solitary soul wants to hear the full story. Nobody got into an Arctic expedition because they heard all about the rest of us having dysentery. You just want to protect your own image, don't you? What? Well, no, it's nothing of the sort, but I'm no fool. I see exactly what you're trying to do. You're not your publicists, Kurt. The man has a point, Kasha. Let's not debate it. Let's not debate this matter. I can't wait until... We're not your publisher. I know. I didn't think you would be so concerned about your image, Kurt. Well, that's your mistake. Mistake? You can't expect me to be the perfect role model you see in the films. I'm only human. I've been married thrice, hobbled once, and been plagued with every vice there is. What I do have is my exploits and my legacy. I wish you not to take that away from me as well. Kasha looks to you, her usual upbeat visage melted away in disbelief. I can't lie on your behalf, Kurt. I don't understand the power of optics. Every part of your report puts my livelihood at stake. Your livelihood or your image. Your livelihood or your image. The cold truth is there's no difference between the two. And you, Captain, do you believe this as well? No, you're free to publish it. Kurt, leave us be. Speak. Kasha, it is about time we spoke on what is allowed in your report. Please, Kasha, take it into consideration. I can't believe you. It's simple a matter of painting a more flattering picture. That is no difficult task. Maybe not for you, Kurt. Kasha storms back to a tent and Kurt gives you an uncomfortable glance. The man looks shaken by the response and, above all, appears to be deeply embarrassed. Without a word, he staggers back to the heart of the camp. I don't know what that word is. Also, I'm not sure how much longer this game actually has. I thought I was finishing it tonight. I guess I might not be. Or I could just be doing a longer stream. The crew are called together before you. They tentatively lift yourself onto a crate. Hushed whispers roll through the audience. Kasha readies her ledger and pencil. Then they once again await your next words. How will you deliver them? As if nothing has changed since you last. With renewed optimism, befitting of solid, with the implicit confidence in the impossible results you've achieved so far. Some arrogance in this world is justified, especially when lives are being saved. The crew look to you. We should all be well acquainted by now. I'm not one for grand speeches. That much should be clear by now. I'll keep this short. To be honest with you, I never wanted to be the captain of this expedition. I never expected to be. I tried my best to rise to the occasion. I'm well aware that some of you may not consider that to be enough, and I've risen. The only history books I know of. Well aware that some of you... We can breathe a sigh of relief we've made land. Does anybody take issue? We've made land. There is indeed several heavy breaths released among the crowd. A silent moment of reflection passes. I am only sorry that Cordell's kennel could not make it with us. Is there anything else we should be proud? The end distance. Cordell gives a small nod to you and thanks. Kurt speaks. Our work's not finished yet. We will still have a mountain to scale. And we all saw the carrion from the Viscount. Cross the path to safety. A cabin with enough supplies to last us until rescue. Templeton clears his throat. What is our current priority, Captain? We must reach the cabin. We must reach rescue. We're heading out. We came here for a reason. The Viscount. No matter what, we must scale the mountain. We will know our next course of action from there. Kurt gives a nod. The assurance of solid ground makes it seem... Ground seems to stir to those listening. Well said, Captain. Indeed. Well, we don't have much time. Best be moving on. Back to work. The crew are granted the time they need before eventually dispersing, returning to their roles at camp. I have an olifant seal. You dream you're back on the Temperance. Wake up shaken. You awake shaken, literally by the engineer. He stands above you, bug-eyed. For a moment, you think you're back on the Temperance. Hammond? Sure! It's Cordell. What about Cordell? You get up. You peeled yourself from the sleeping bag and get up. There's food and supplies missing from the stores. I think she's trying to make a run for it. Are you sure? I never took Cordell for a crave and lead the way. Then why are you wasting time with me? We need to stop her. The two of you take charge out of the tent into the snow, down tracks heading up towards the mountain pass. Follow the tracks away from the camp. It's half an hour before you finally spot her ascending the dead mountain. Shh, there she is. Go back to camp. I'll handle this. I'm not letting you screw this up by yourself. Oh, it's fine. Let's approach slowly. Follow my lead. You both creep up towards her. Draw your gun, Cordell. Cordell picks up the sound, slowly turn back around to spot you both in her line of sight. She clears her throat. Captain, sure, Hammond. To what do I owe the surprise? Don't play coy. We know what you're up to. Then you seem to be several steps ahead of us. What am I apparently up to? Please, educate me. You think you can just abandon the crew in the dead of night? You know, getting a head start on tomorrow's scouting, a fine idea. A fine night for it, yes, and a fine story, but I don't think either of us believes that's what I'm doing. Starberry's expecting. Then you should be doing what's best for those pups. What does it look like I'm doing, Robin? If you leave, you're ensuring their demise. Perhaps, but there's no more of a chance out here than with the rest of you. I'm not going to allow Starberry and I to be part of this expedition anymore. Do you really think the two of you will be better off without the rest of us? I do. Those puppies will be my new litter. I'll start over. Certainly not the first time I've had to do that. Snowfall has begun to set on you both. You should have come to me first, Cordell. It's not the leaving I'm concerned about. It's the theft at the expedition. You're going to have to shoot me before you leave. I propose a duel. You should have come to me first. We both know that wouldn't have worked. It's not... Then let me try. Then let me convince you now. I'm listening. Starberry, here, girl. You might feel they don't need us, but we need you, both of you. MNC needs someone else with their head screwed on straight. She's still there. We're losing souls. We need all the help we can get. You've seen Templeton. I'm going to need people just on my side who can care about more than his stupid mission. Most of the people in this expedition are half the age you are. You and I. The lady is silent for a minute. She finally walks over to you. The three of you begin the long track back to camp. Starberry follows patiently. Not a word is spoken on the journey back. Kasha! Careful! Careful! You turn your head to spot Kasha perched precariously over the edge with her camera in hand, lining up another shot from that position. It's great, a good shot of the horizon. Trust me, you got a good shot of falling to your death. Get back over here. The ground isn't safe. You can't trust anything beneath your feet this high up. Kasha doesn't heed the warnings, instead lining up the shot and snapping it clearly. There, no issue, and this just might be the Bana image from my report. If the civilian is done being foolish, might we move on? Kasha nods and turns back around to join the rest of them. Only for her to slip on the ice beneath. You lunge forward and pull Kasha forward so that she isn't hurtling over the edge, but her initial stumble sent the camera falling below. That was a close one. My camera! Be thankful that the camera took the plunge and not yourself, young. Desperate, despite reassurances, Kasha moves back to the edge of the cliff, peering over and searching for a camera. I can't lose it. Everything from this expedition was on there. Wait. Nonsense. It's a blip on the rocks. You can't see the ground from this. No, it's on the ground. It's snagged on the ice. It's not too far down. I can climb back and... No hope you want to get back to climbing. If I lose the camera, my entire reason for being here, and this nightmare goes with it. I'm getting that camera. She turns to you. Captain, we have to do something. To you, Death, it's your own. I'm not putting anyone at risk. It's just a camera, Kasha. You've still got your notes. My notes aren't enough. The world needs to see those photos. Believe this. Aren't they? You'll have the testimony of the rest of us. The story comes from you, not the machine. Kurt steps forward. I'll do it. It's my understanding that there was a prerequisite for attending this expedition. Let's go, Kasha. Kurt affixes the rope to Kasha, locking her in tight with the climbing gear. Leave the climbing to me. As a civilian, your safety is top priority. I would suggest rethinking the plan of action. We can't afford to lose the... I suggest we rethink the... I don't know, I've lost it completely. You might just get worse. I believe I'm the navigator that I'm going down. If I can't save the camera, no one can. That would be the preferable option. Kurt pays no heed to the protests of Templeton, continuing to climb down with Kasha in tow. Thank you. Don't thank me until the job is done. Bad luck otherwise. They're risking their lives for a bloody picture. You should stop this shit.
Technically, I still have it, see?
It's an order. I'm not the crew and you're not my editor. You can't order me around. Kurt and Kasha begin to slide down the wall of the cliff at a steady pace, Kasha keeping her eye on the camera at all times. Easy now, you can do this, Kurt. Reassuring yourself isn't very reassuring to me, you know. Okay, I think I can get it from here. Think both of you, please don't make any rash movements. She collects the camera. There we go. Now get back up here, you mad man. Job well done. So much for bad luck. Yes, now let's climb up. Kurt begins adjusting the lines on his climbing gear, preparing to lead Kasha up. The extra weight from the camera causes the rock beneath Kurt's feet to crumble, and the former film star goes hurtling back. He snaps to a standstill, the line between himself and Kasha still intact, but the weight of the big man's fall pulls Kasha back from the face of the cliff. Blast! Kasha, are you alright? I can't see the cliff. What's happening? The blasted line won't hold me. Pull us up. Hold with me. Pull us up. The rest of the crew hang back, lest any added weight at the cliff's edge cause any more dire incident. As you look down, you see the pair flailing helplessly. Kasha spots you. Captain! Start cutting the rope. Command Kasha to drop the camera. Command the crew to pull them both up. No doubt the dangling weight of Kurt is also putting strain on the back, and at the end of the rope as it's tied, jagged peak, you notice the rope begin to fray at the edge. So does Kurt. The navigator pulls out his knife. Kasha! She looks down at the man, he shouts. I always promised myself I'd lose a few bastard pounds. Bit late for that, I suppose. Take a photo. What? Take a photo of me for posterity. Once in a lifetime shot. No! Do it. Start cutting the rope. Command Kasha to drop the camera. Do it! She reluctantly drops the camera into the void. Don't you dare, Kurt. He isn't listening. Can't pull her up. You can pull her up, Kurt. You can do this. I'll cut this rope before... Let him do it, Kasha. You can pull her up, Kurt. You can do this. You see a twinkle in the man's eye. Do you really believe that, Captain? Stop wasting time. Don't leave me up here with Templeton, you cretin. You're Kurt. Of course you can. He puts the knife in his teeth. He starts swinging his admittedly impressive weight. As he reaches the mountainside, he takes the knife and cuts his line. Before gripping the side of the mountain and returning the knife to his mouth, he begins to climb. Kurt? The navigator responds through the metal between his teeth. They faked this stunt in my third film, but it's worth a shot now. The man climbs until he's beside Kasha and continues gripping the mountain. Pull the rope! Heave to. The crew begin to pull the rope. Keep going! Kurt and Kasha are pulled to safety. As they reach the peak, Kurt bursts into relieved laughter. Don't laugh, that was terrifying. We made it out all right, I think. Still, that was, well, just like the movies. Yes, it was all quite daring. Might we move on? I'm glad you both made it out. I was so worried. I can't believe the show business fake would be actually daring. I barely believe it myself. But it happened, and believe me, that was just will be a full page in my report. I don't require the credit. Stop the faux humble faux? I think it's faux. Stop the faux humble, Kurt. You're allowed to be proud right now. You're the real hero. Peak of the mountain. Well, that accordion. Grabbing everyone's attention is a cave in the rock wall. Cave. A good spot, some shelter from the winds. Still, what lies inside may prove a danger. The crew get to work setting up a camp at the peak of the mountain. Camp is set up. There we go. Captain, it's just my luck, isn't it? To make it this far and to lose the camera at the final hurdle. We should be grateful nothing more important was lost. As Kurt approaches, Kasha lets out a small chuckle. Yes, that is the bright side, of course. You should have brought a spare. Don't think you won't be reprimanded for your actions. Your life is much more important than the camera. Yes, still, it would have been nice to recover it. Of course, I'm not taking this for granted. There is something I should say. Past comments I made. Forgive me. Well, allow me to apologize first. No, I understand now. You can't convince me to lie in my report. I'll tell the entire truth. I understand. And the truth is that Colonel Darling is a hero. You needn't say that. I've caused my fair share of trouble on this expedition. Yes, and I don't intend to hide that from anyone. But your heroism is more important to share. What did you tell me about inspiring others? Thank you. I can only hope another Kasha Belford reads my report. Let's hope they grow to be less reckless than you. You deserve to be commended. You can still clean up some aspects, right? Ha! I hope so indeed. Chasing glory has been my vice for too long. Whatever you write about me, it has my blessing. There, I can expect honesty. Thank you, friend. And thank you. Mr. Templeton. Captain. It's time we're at a crossroads. A decision needs to be made. We both read the carrion. We know the location of the Viscount lies in this cave. We are this close. Our mission end lies in wait. What if pursuing it causes us to miss our rescue? What do you expect to find there? Answers for better or worse. If what we read is correct, the shore cabin should hold enough rations to last a full year. We can afford the risk of missing a single rescue ship. I think it's worth it. Should secure the cabin first before. I don't care about the Viscount. We're heading to. You're right. We can't turn away from this opportunity. Yeah, fuck it. Indeed. You should inform the crew of our movement as soon as we leave this tent. I know you will make the right call, Captain. Anteo! Okay, so the other one's like didn't get Grimly to life. You overhear the Stoke brothers engaging in the sound like an argument. What did you say? I'm sorry, Grimly, but I can't fool myself any longer. Let's face it, Hunt abandoned us. Wrong! That's all you have to say, Grimly. We've been out here so long. He left us without a word. He left us to die, to be torn up in a blizzard, to be eaten by a seal, whatever else he didn't care, did he? You don't know what you're saying. I know Hunt better than you, Junior. The captain would never. He's not our captain. What? Leave them be. It's not best to involve with the squabble of siblings. If it wasn't for Hunt, we wouldn't be stuck here. He did this to us. Fine. Grimly storms off, marching towards his tent. Junior only lets out a sigh in response. You notice Hammond and Kurt huddled around the boiler, deep in conversation. As you approach, their heads perk up, noticing. Captain, didn't see you there. Captain, didn't see you there. Apologies, Captain. Seems we're both caught up in our work. My work? You're just watching me, Kurt. You did manage to pick out the materials. We're just replacing the spyglass I cracked on the mountain. I may not be of any use in this cave, but you never know when we might need it next. Once again, my boiler comes in handy. It's good to see you two aren't bickering again. Kurt, I have been meaning to ask how you're faring up to this. Oh, that business. Well, we're just short of an absolute disaster, weren't we? I never thought I could do something so reckless. You saved a life. Looked like something out of one of your shite films. Upon hearing that, Kurt puffs off his chest. Oh, so you've seen my films. Just one. And what did you think? Pure bollocks. I should have figured. I haven't seen enough to judge. You've never seen my films? Well, I hope you would amend that once we return to civilization. We can just can't get over all the inaccuracies. What inaccuracies? You take me for a fool, Kurt? I know you staged shot when I see one. Well, they did certainly clean up a lot in the edit. I don't get it. What don't you understand, chum? You're a proper bloody navigator, Kurt. A damned hero. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Thank you. So why do you star in all those phony films? I wouldn't call them phony, and well, they may not be the picture of accuracy, but they are a power to inspire people, more so than any true story. Hammond likely doesn't see the value in inspiration. I think the real experience is maybe I should watch them. There was a time I'd argue against that, Captain, but this expedition has been one learning experience after the another for me, and I owe a lot of that to Hammond. Me? Yes, you have done an excellent job in humbling my ego. It was a massive ego to be fair, hard to miss. Ha! Isn't that the truth? In fact, it's clear that if there's one thing I might need of, it's someone who can keep me grounded. Get to it, Kurt. What do you want to say? I was wondering, would you consider... Spit it out, would you? Alright, would you consider joining me after this? Further expeditions? As an engineer? Yes, but also as a level head. I need someone like you. I'll think about it. You on the same crew. Sounds like a recipe. Perhaps I should... I think Hammond would love it, so... Don't be putting words in my mouth, Captain. All I said is I'd consider it. But you will consider it? Aye, I will. Hammond pulls out the replacement spyglass. Anyway, here you are, all finished. Incredible. Great work, Hammond. No problem, Kurt. Kahurengi? What? My real name. Kurt's it's the name for the media. Kahurengi Tuhuro. Alright, Kahurengi. See you around, my friend. You too. I apologize if I fucked that right up, because I probably did. I have no idea how to pronounce that. So, anybody wants to leave an explanation in the chat somewhere? Be my guest. Past the tent and quick to notice what's going on. Cash, the intrepid photographer, standing close to the doctor, their faces pressed together. She's alerted to your footsteps and opens her eyes, which quickly widen as you spot her. Quickly, she and Nutley pull away from each other, their heads nervously swimming around the tent. Nutley letting out a punctuated cough. Aww, it's adorable. Captain, you could have cleared your throat or something. We're just, sticking together for warmth. A clever decision. I should have expected this with the true immature youths aboard. Yes, quite clever. Very clever of us to be doing. That was definitely what we were. Arthur, I think our good captain was joshing us. That, or shore, is quite dense, and that would be a great issue. Did you honestly intend? Congratulations, both of you. Thank you, Captain. We should be thanking you, Shaw. Placing us together in one tent for a year certainly fostered conversation. Never considered myself in that shape. Spare me any details. We spoke at length, and at first about his unexpectedly vast knowledge of ice fishing, and ended up casual conversation about our favourite newspaper strips. Well, it wasn't entirely casual. What do you mean? I knew you didn't notice. Notice what? Kasha clears her throat before putting an affected voice, dramatically quoting her past statements. Why, Doctor? I think you would be great subject for my next report. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a write-up on your interesting life. A handsome young medical prodigy, you must be a bevy of suitors. Doctor, there is an excellent seafood restaurant in the capital. We should absolutely eat there when we return to land. Kasha chuckles to herself. For goodness sake. I was beginning to think you were bloody oblivious to flirtation. I recognize some of it. I was just too nervous at the time to respond. Though it's true, I think you were just passionate about seafood. And then, but we couldn't help ourselves. Honestly, I'm deeply admired her passion for her craft, headstrong way of thinking, how she was focused on her future, everything I wanted in myself. And I admired his courage when we're up against his fears, possibly the worst situation possible. That's the kind of thing that makes films out of. And just as I thought we were winding down, I told her I wanted to see her again after we returned to civilization. Suffice to say, I was surprised that he would just blurt it out. I surprised myself, but before that I had long stopped considering that we'd make it back. Of course, that led to a new conversation, although all through the morning. Before we knew it, we were having a romantic embrace at the south of the well. That's it, until you walked in, Captain. Yes, it was rather inappropriate of you. Kasha pauses for emotion. You don't take issue with this, do you, Captain? You both know the fraternization. So when will you be holding the wedding? Excuse me. Good one, Captain. Presuming all goes well, not for another year or two. Or 5. Now, Doctor, you know me. I like to live fast. 5 years is fast. I think I could whittle you down. I'm joking, of course. It's far too soon to speak of that. But, well, forbidden or not, we're at the end of the journey here, I hope. Matters of the crew are in the past. To sail home with Kasha. Well, it's something to look forward to. Been quite a while since we had that. Agreed. We've not gone back on land. We shouldn't go. I wish you both happiness. It's what you deserve. Thank you, Captain. Now, if you'll excuse us. Oh, probably a better thing ending with those two. I probably shouldn't have clicked the top one. Find the crew scientist officer overlooking several petri dishes containing various materials picked from the walls of the ice cave. Curious and curiouser. Don't be concerning yourself with some minerals, Templeton. What's curious? Captain, observe the materials we've uncovered in just the entrance of this cave. Copper, tungsten, antimony. These are deposits more likely found in lakes, not all in a cave, let alone a mountain top in the polar region. Nothing about it seems natural. Some rocks are different. Could this be why the Appertons were looking for this area? Perhaps. Captain, may I ask you a question? Go ahead. I've assumed you're most enjoying my questions at this stage. You keep humoring. Well, regardless, we've been working together for quite some time. In that time, I've been able to evaluate you. After assessing your abilities and your decision-making, I can safely conclude that you are more than capable in your role as captain. As such, I would like to offer you a job. You wish to work with me again, Templeton? My wishes are irrelevant. You are more than qualified for the role. I can easily recommend you to the company head. It's time I told you the truth of who we're working for. I have a feeling I won't like this. I believe you will find its information most valuable. Templeton reveals a tin can of ration. Pass it over to you. The woman modelling front stares back at you before look back at it. I already knew that. Why am I looking for the model? What am I looking for? The model? Yes, actually. Her name is Minerva Appleton. She's the president of the Appleton Tinning Company. But why would she fund this expedition? Same reason anyone would. Tin foods is perhaps the lowest priority with the company in today's age, as you likely tell by the shoddy work on the operations. Instead, Lady Appleton is focused on turning her company into the only option in commerce, which is why she fought after the expedition of the Viscount. She's interested in what the Viscount found in the ice. And what did they find? No doubt there are several details Minerva has kept hidden from even myself, but I will tell you what I can. The original expedition of the Viscount was carried out by the government. A race to find the southernmost point of the world, charter it out in the name of glory of science. But upon arrival, it appears they discovered the same strange environments as we have, and so they chose to investigate instead of heading back. Contrary to legend and hearsay, it wasn't the cold and the starvation that drove the crew mad. Was that what they found there that took their minds? And how do we know this, and what did they find? That part remains a mystery, but what we do know, there was a witness, a survivor washed ashore, half mad, the tongue got out. They lived only long enough to give us a hint at what we're looking for. It's unknown what exactly lies in wait for us should we find the Viscount, but from what we know, the crew of the vessel found something world-changing. This is no mere treasure. What they found was unnatural in nature, a paradox existing at the most southern point of the world. Whoever can retrieve it, bring it back to civilization, will shape the path of human advancement for the next century.
So the thingy is probably abandoned the crew in hoping the mission will sail because he doesn't want them getting his hands on it.
Sounds like Minerva has been swept up in a myth. I'm hearing that. I believe I'm being underpaid for a mission of this magnitude. Yes, I can assure you a great rate of pay should we be able to recover the secret of the Viscount. I can't. It's a legend and other. Then it is our top priority to recover what the Viscount found. Precisely my thoughts, Captain. It's good to see we're both at the same level mind. Now I've told you all that I know. Please leave me to my research. You turn, but Templeton speaks up. Oh, Captain! You never officially responded to my offer. Do you wish to work with the Appleton Tinning Company after this? I will take it under consideration. See that you do, Captain. I wish to speak with you on a matter. What matter? Concerning your report. But simply I have a story for you to include regarding who I am. You're a kennel master. That is true, but not the whole truth. Well, this is sudden. I can see this doesn't concern me. Actually, sure. I think you'll be interested in hearing this. Very well, I'll stay. Cordell turns to Kasha as the reporter quickly scrambles together her notepad and pen. Now, I'm certain you have heard they call me Lady Cordell. Yes, frequently. I asked around, and apparently it was a moniker granted to you due to how you spoke. Well, those who dubbed me with the name have no idea the irony in doing so. The truth is, I am a noble, or rather I was. What? Expect you might have an upper glass. What? You are? Are you ears failing you? I care not to repeat myself. I was born and raised within the nobility. I don't mean to call you a liar, but that's just a big claim. Ingrid Cordelia Weston. What? You keep your ear to the ground often. I'm sure you've heard of her. Yes, actually, she's a distant relative of the monarch. Had a seat as an MP for a brief period. Went missing unexpectedly. Well, I'm Ingrid Cordelia Weston. Let her continue. And I'll show you proof. Oh, whoops. No need, I believe you. You do? I would certainly be an odd thing to lie about. I assume you're aware of the political system, Cash. To no end. Researching it was possibly the most dull and harrowing part of my last report. And yourself, Captain? Vaguely. Very well, then let me inform you to refresh your memory. Oh, my voice is going. Well, a distant cousin of said monarch, I was placed in one of the parliamentary seats. As you can imagine, I had no interest in being a MP. My aversion towards human interaction was no different in my youth. From the age I received my first dog as a gift in my childhood, I have much preferred their company. Surely there was one such time when you weren't such a recluse. Well, you have encountered and interviewed many of the nobility in your time, correct? Would you choose to spend your time amongst those people? Fair point. So, this whole time we've been travelling with a runaway MP. Yes, I suppose it sounds quite unusual. I find it shocking you were never found unusual with Wilhelm. I've learned not to be surprised at this stage. But why didn't you leave? Why did you leave? Reasons for that are quite simple. I refuse to live their life anymore. In the world, in my position, certain things are expected of me. Act with decorum, attend every social event. Keep yourself real self hidden until you're considered suitable to be shipped off into a political marriage. A grim reality, one I wanted no part in. My chance was clear, and I didn't hesitate in my thought for a moment. I left home in the dead of night, taking only two things with me. My certificate of birth for reasons more practical than sentimental, and my dog for reasons more sentimental. I started a breeding kennel in the south, earned the moniker of Lady Cordell from the common folk, and from then on I was free to feel the ground beneath my feet. As Cordell speaks, Cashel intently takes notes. I see. The trapped in a restrictive role in society, you break free of change, yearning to be independent. I suppose, yes. Just like a wild pack of dogs able to roam free. Please don't include a surface-level poetic interpretation of my actions. Poetics are my calling, but okay. Oh, that's good. I still don't believe it. So have you ever considered returning to the nobility? Not even slightly. The life is simply not for me. Thank you for sharing, Cordell. But why have you shared this with me? Why now? My report, it will expose your identity to everybody. Why would you allow that? Because I trust you to tell my story. And I no longer have anything to hide. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I'll tell the whole truth of your tale. I know you will, assuming you leave out the tripe about wild dogs. And yourself, Captain, speaking of dogs, how's Starbury? Faring well, still pregnant. What? Starbury's pregnant? Yes, quite fortunate for me after what happened to my kennel. It's a stroke of good. I'm sure Cordell will bestow us each with a puppy. What do you intend to do with the litter? I intend on replacing the kennel I lost, piece by piece. Starberry will birth a new generation of sled dogs. So be continue your line of work? Yes, I'd much sooner begin as a kennel master than return to mobility. Agreed. So that's your entire story? More or less, yes. I'm sure Captain Shaw has no objections with his tale. What say you, Captain? I think I will call you. I never would have expected. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you listening. I can't believe you would trust us with this. Thank you. Don't mistake this for closeness. I simply trust your credentials enough to consider you professional. But you're welcome, friend. You turn and leave Kasher and Cordell. Now I have the choice. Abandon the mission and seek rescue ship. Enter the cave. You notice the compass pointing directly towards the cave. Forgo the rescue ship to search for the Viscount. Dark cave network reveals itself into an opening. Approach the light. Oh, that's so fucking cool! There it stands before the Viscount, where it was left by its former crew, but not as it was left. The ship stands quite different indeed. Snow filtering into the grotto seems almost frozen in time. The weather itself remains fixed in awe of this impossible sprouting from the great lost ship. Keep staring from where. Snap to attention. You cannot afford to lose your focus. The expedition's goal is in reach. After 5 years, no 6. After the most roundabout road possible, you finally found it. Celebrate like a sailor. Fuck. Yes. Yes. God's fucking yes. You throw your arms into the air, failing uncontrollably in a mad acceleration. Junior soon joins you in celebration, throwing his own arms in the air and yelling at the top of his lungs. To your surprise, Dr. Nutley joins you in expletive-soaked glee. Templeton clears his throat in an attempt to keep your focus. You realize the others are now staring at you. You cough and straighten yourself before returning back to address the rest of the crew. Instinctively, she reaches down before her eyes widen. Oh no, damn it. Are you okay? What's wrong? There'll be no pictures. There isn't a soul who'll believe this without photographic evidence. Well, there's at least eyewitnesses. They can think us mad, all right. My goodness, would you look at this? In all my years, I've never seen something this remarkable, beautiful, amazing. I'm sure it's something possible that lies before your very eyes. A reward for those who've breathed the land of no return. Sure, could it have all been worth it to find this at the end of our road? My goodness. Sure, despite the vegetation, the Viscount looks to be intact. I shouldn't hazard to get my hopes up, but remarkable, truly remarkable. Captain, we must study this at once. I was concerned, sure. I was worried that we may not find anything at the end. This is more than I could possibly have imagined. How could something like this exist out here? It's just not possible, is it? Leave your eyes, Doctor. Wow, Grimly, it looks familiar, doesn't it? Aye, a tree in the snow. The fruit of the three sisters, right? The old tale would keep me up at night. Careful, sure, there's many sailor songs about this, none of them good.
Awfully superstitious, don't you think? Any good sailor would be, besides we're looking at it now, aren't we?
What the fuck? Am I seeing things here?
You're not. You've got to be fucking joking. I know this tree. The tree? I don't give a shite about some bloody tree. What? Then what are... The Viscount! Look at it! It's seaworthy! I know. You know from a look. I know every inch of it. It's just like its twin. We can sail this. Captain, this is truly a discovery for the ages. We need a moment to collect our thoughts. Under no circumstances is anybody to touch that boat. For all we know, the plant could be poisonous. We need to practice extreme caution. Well, you're the bloody botanist, aren't you? Take a look at it.
Buck, buck, buck. Ruff, 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 ruff.
Starberry, please. I'm no expert on plants, but something about that thing unnerves me. Don't trust it for a second. You really think it's seaworthy? We should focus on setting up camp here. We need a proper assessment of that tree. Agreed. This is what we came here for, sure. This is the fruit of our labor. Well, we should not lose focus. The crew get to work setting up a makeshift camp inside the ship. It's locked. No, we need to put in Davy Jones. Do 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 do. No, that's Harry fucking Potter. What's the one that Davy Jones plays with all these tentacles? Send to the lower decks. Like the opposite. That's pretty cool. It's flipped around because you're going, that's actually kind of cool, yeah. The engine of the Viscount, the classic retrofitted steam train model twisted amongst the roots of the tree. An old skeleton in what appears to be a captain's uniform. Their bones are fused to the roots around it. They've clearly been here for some time. The inside coat you find a ship's key. Tied at the heart of his ship. You unlock the door with the captain's key. You enter and find a ghost sitting before you. Littered around the room are countless familiar scrollings. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous months. Low, slim chances. Say glory to be had. They must not have it. Always stuck in the ice. We're stuck in a time loop. Inu, Cordell, Hammond, Templeton, Kurt, Arthur, Shaw. We've been stuck in a time loop. Speak to the old captain. You wouldn't happen to have a light, would you? Hunt, is that you? In the flesh, my friend. Thought you were dead. Not dead, not quite alive either. Somewhere in between, I think. A lot to answer for, Hunt. No, this isn't happening. This must be some sort of trick. You have a lot to answer for, Hunt. I'm sure you have infinite questions. He looks up at your head. I don't suppose you saw me hat? Way over here. On your way. Junior has it. He earned it. Very good. I never liked that hat anyway. A bit aggrandizing, don't you think? How's my ship? Right where you left it, give or take a few leagues beneath the ice. May the sea soothe her spirits. I hope she put up a fight. I suppose it's wrong to call her my ship. Anyway, which reminds me, Templeton told you about Minerva, no doubt. He brought up... Oh, I didn't tell me about it. And what exactly do you... You brought it up, yes. I figured as much. Minerva's story is a rather tragic one, as you're sure you want to hear. Let him continue. Beautiful beyond reproach. You'd swear you'd never seen anyone so idyllic. Anyway, the young starlet originally found herself at the helm of an illustrious stage career. Following that came business offers, modeling, advertisements, and of course, love. Well, doomed love. She was widowed, you see. But before winning the heart and hand of the son of a little tin food company. Where is she now? How did he die? There was rumors she killed her husband, but I'm not so sure. Maybe he choked on a peach. It might have taken Minerva the rest of her life, but, well, let's just say the Appertons have their hands in a lot more than tins of peaches these days. Doesn't explain what she wants with the Viscount. Still doesn't explain what she wants with the Viscount. The Viscount's expedition was a government affair. Deduction would say that Minerva would like to keep whatever she finds for herself. Get ahead of the game, as it were. What's so special about the ship itself? When we first met you, you mentioned the Viscount was a research wizard. What was it researching? I have some questions of my own I need answered first, Robin. Now, I want to know, which shore is speaking to me right now? What do you mean? How are the Stoke brothers faring, alive and well? Why should you care? Alive and well, no thanks to you. That's good to hear. You made land after the sail, I assume. How is everybody else? How did you fare on the ice? The Canal Master attempted to leave the excellent lunch we had made. Kasha dropped her camera during the climb. We avoided disaster, but the camera was lost. Drat, that camera was the most important item on the expedition. It's the only way of any of this being believed. Why didn't you steal it then? You can add that to the losses you're responsible. We'll have enough items. Why didn't you steal it as well then? You met her. I'm fairly certain she goes to bed clinging to that thing. Didn't get the chance. I've told you enough. I'm done. The Canal Master attempted to leave the expedition. Once we'd made land, I talked her out of it. Not easy to do. You must have made a convincing argument. The doctor has managed to stay with us, at least. He found his nerve out on the ice. Now that is a pleasant to hear. He was the only crew member I was unsure of. I didn't want to upset his father by getting the poor boy killed. Not that any of that matters now. I'm sure you'll be thrilled. Mr. Templeton is fine. I expected as much. He's given you much grief. Actually, Mr. Templeton has been a valuable ally through all this. Is that so? Maybe I should work on my interview technique. I told you. Now, I have questions of my own. Of course, of course. I'm sure you're wondering about what led me here. You might be able to tell it isn't a particular hopeful answer. I failed my men. Let him continue. Well, there was 4 of us, and I'm sure you'll quite quickly figured out. Smurf, Corvid, Joe, and myself grabbed what we could and headed off with one of the larger lifeboats. Why did you abandon? Where are the others now? Smurf was the first to go. They knew what they were doing. They made their choice, and now they have passed. How did the cult take them? Everyone. He looks wistfully at the table. The custom of the sea occurred. You've sinned on the ice, but nothing like that. Did you draw We didn't have to. It was Corvid's idea. There was a protest, but after we learned the tins were poisoned with lead, we had no choice. You're a monster, there's always a choice. You did what you had to, but it never should have come to that in the first place. The other 2 argued over partaking. Smurf refused, instead subjecting himself to further tins. He didn't last long after that. He turned sour by the 1st day and attacked us, then froze himself. Corvid and I made it to the mountain, and then she made the impossible choice. She offered herself to the mission. Man goes quiet. I can't get the taste out of my mouth, sure. No matter what I do. You'll hang for this. You don't understand, sure. Every time this happens, my road always leads here, no matter what. It always leads to this. You've seen the tree outside, haven't you? What is this? You're not really fruit. This is all for the fruit? Heh, you know it's not just about that, don't you? This is what the Appertons have been after. We're here for this. All road leads here, sure. What's so special about it? I've eaten of this fruit countless times, and yet I'm still here. We have heard this conversation countless times. A different me, a different you, but the same. We keep coming back here. Do you regret your choiceless shore? I remember you told me the sign of good leader is understanding. Do you still stand by that? It has been difficult. Do you know how hard it's been to convince these idiots that I actually give a shit about them? Gods, Robin, that's cold even for me. The worst thing any one of us can do, Robin, is become the consequences of somebody else's plan. Maybe you've been the best sure you can be, maybe not. But you can still be just towards the fruit. With this, you can go back, change the path to me. Speak like you've been in this cave for years. I haven't, and I have. Every time I've eaten this fruit, every past loop comes freshly back to my mind, and then I send my mind back once more. You can do the same, Robin. You can go back. You won't really remember, but part of you will want to try something else. Some things will stay the same. We always get stuck. The temperance is always lost. But you can save lives, save rations, perfect your leadership. If you eat the fruit, that is, open your eye, that eye of yours, pushes the fruit towards you. What do you say, Robin? I don't trust it. My path is settled, Hunt. Well, at least that means you're proud in your choices. We should head out, Robin. We have people waiting. I understand. It's been an age since I've seen my crew. But before we do, a tree out there. Do you plan on taking it back to Apperton's? I don't know. I need the crew's input. Of course. Me, on the other hand, I'm still making my mind up. Ready for the big reveal? What should we say? Perhaps you should wait behind. You could shock the crew to death if you come out right away. I'm afraid I won't be doing that, sure. I've waited long enough already. Eager to see the look on Templeton's face. Two of you pace towards the rest. Templeton is the first to notice you, as predicted. The look on his face is a unique concoction of shock, anger, and mortification. Templeton! I appear to have found your lost girl. The other heads rapidly turn in your direction. One by one, they abandon their work and rush to assemble to see the site themselves. I've captured our previous cap. We certainly have a lot to clear up before we can. Aye, that's a bloody understatement. Bloody hell, it's actually the walking corpse. The others begin to mutter, frightened. Hunt, you're still alive. Aye, the doctor made it. Good, I need you to fix up my teeth. Excuse me, he survived the entire time. I'm going to struggle to convince people my report is true at this rate. This is quite the shock. And whispers to, I knew the look on his face would be worth it. But perhaps you would like to clarify our situation. I'd like to know what happened myself. Gods, is that Grimly? It's good to see you again. Where are the rest, Hunt? The rest? Smurf, Corvid, Joe, where are they? They didn't make it. All these years, and just like that, they're gone. Did they at least receive good deaths? As best they could. Now is not the time to dwell on those. Captain. Yes? No, Captain Shaw. How in the world did you find this man? Captain Hunt is indeed the only of those taking our customers. Captain has been moving ahead of us for the time I found him in the captain's attempt to trap me, ambush me. He's dangerous. Those who know what that means exhibit reactions, others are left confused. Hunt looks at the ground ashamed. Clarify, those from whom should need no further. The worst outcome to a situation that he alone is utterly responsible. Murmuring shoot between the crew as those aware of whispers the meanings to the others. He has enlightened you as to why he left, so you were right sure the bastard abandoned us. Emmons right. Why'd you leave, Hunt? Show some respect. Hunt told me his plan was to get ahead of us and just Hunt abandoned us so he could get ahead. Start, he means to destroy it. No, I remain unenlightened. Captain, I think it's time we open the floor to the rest of the crew. Something tells me many of them have words to share. Junior takes a run at Camp before heading back to his brother. You left us! Why? I didn't plan on going home. None of us were going to come back. That's it. And why couldn't you bring us too? why even plan that? Do you want those answers to? Stop defending the man. Damn it. Why didn't you trust us, Hunt? Why didn't you tell them, Hunt? They served you for years. He never did. You're lucky he didn't. It was more complicated than that. I do trust them. I do, but you're both young. I had to take the oldest, my top men. We aren't your top men. Well, that's... After all this time, we had the wrong idea, Grandpa. I have nothing left to say, Captain. Why didn't you bring me aboard this expedition? Excuse me. Doctor, this is hardly the time to work on your insecurity. The floor is open, Templeton. The floor is open. Quite so. Hunt, I've been asking myself this question since you left, since I saw you leave. You what? You saw Hunt leave, and you didn't stop him. He couldn't stop Hunt, and what does it matter if he saw him? It's in the past now. We won't hold that against you, Arthur. It doesn't matter right now, please. I know, but I still need to know. I remember that you looked like a frightened deer when you saw me ready to go. Is that why you brought me aboard? Because I couldn't stop you? Because I was young? Naive? Easily manipulated? It is, isn't it? Hunt tilts his head in confusion. Hells, no. Oh, no. It was a favor to your father. He's my barber. That's it. That's the entire reason. He's very good. He asked me to toughen his boy up a bit. Seems like it's done the trick. Crasher lets out a small chortle before covering her mouth to stop her throat. Arthur did that himself. To be honest, I was worried from the beginning that my father was involved, and yet after that's happened, I'm actually relieved the reason is so benign. This entire time, it didn't matter. I put more thought into why I was here than Hunt ever did. The doctor had no choice but to laugh at the I can't say absurdity. Absurdity of it all. Absurd? Ah, God! Blah, 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 blah. We are getting away from the point at hand. Anyone else apparently require physiological evaluation? You turn your back to the crew to find yourself face to face with Hammond. He darts past you and confronts him. Enough bloody games! You should have gone down with the ship. That's tradition, you coward. Tradition would want all of us dead. Best not to... tradition would want all of us dead. Best not follow that now, I think. Hammond, get back in line. No more jokes, Hammond's right. Since when did you care for tradition, Hammond? I don't. I'm calling the bastard a hypocrite. Watch your mouth, Hammond. How about... Hunt watches himself. He left us to die, bastard. Indeed, pick and choose when tradition matters is shameful, no? Don't even try to defend him. The crew are all still looking at you to make some sense. Is there anything you would like to add, Captain? Take this opportunity to come clean about events past. I think we've all heard enough. No one else has information. The rest of the crew is still watching. About our benefactor. She owns the tin. Their name is Minerva Aberton. She owns the food club. Tinned food, as in the peaches. I spent an age attempting to uncover information. Mysterious fact of that. You mean to tell me that we were eating from their tins the entire time? Yes. Why would a tinning company invest such a mission? Ridiculous! It seems our captain is suffering from some kind of delirium. A tinning company? Absurd. Templeton was the one who Hunt told me when I met him. Don't deflect. Tell them why the I think it would be best we decide our next course of action. The boiler doesn't have much time left in it, correct? Answer the captain. I'm curious to know what you're up to. This is ridiculous. I'm not up to anything nefarious. In fact, I cannot truly say myself why this mission was invested in. Such information was kept out of even my reach. The rest of the crew are still watching and waiting. I think we've heard enough. Cannot wait around here forever, Captain. This ship, this tree. What is our next course of action? Isn't it about time you told him about the tree? Oh, wrong person. Hunt, what do you know of this? I'm sure you're very interested in knowing, Richard. Anyone would be. This is what your employer seeks. The fruits of this tree. It changes everything. It will change the world.
The fruit?
Yes. I have tasted the fruit countless times and have seen countless paths to this moment.
My word!
He's truly gone insane. No surprises. That man has lost his mind. Isolation out here. It would happen to anyone.
I assure you, he's not Jewish. We can't trust him. No, insane or no, the tree is unnatural. There's something. He is a delusion.
What? Sure, you've honestly been convinced by this man's ramblings? Listen to me. The hells with Apatons. They can't be allowed to have this. Nobody should. What are you suggesting? Needs to be destroyed. Burned to the ground. What? Hunt! This is quite possibly the most important discovery of our age. It needs to be studied. Barring that, you are hired by the Apatons to retrieve it, not to decide your own ethical judgment.
That's right, Hunt. Man, calm yourself. We should take some time to think this over.
I doubt we'll reach an agreement there, sure. Regardless, I'm the captain of this expedition, and my word is final.
Long silence falls amongst the proceedings.
Rufus Hunt, you are not the captain of this expedition.
What? Then who is? Shaw?
Shaw's first mate.
That was a temporary agreement. I've returned and reclaimed my role.
Fortunately, Hunt, I've read our contracts quite thoroughly.
Templeton produces his copy from his jacket pocket. The event that the captain is held in contention, the correct course of action is to hold a vote. Any officer of the crew may put themselves forward to claim the role. We held a vote already on any crew member, then what? Then that's what we'll have. The crew should decide for themselves.
A vote? I welcome it. The contract also states that candidates should put forward their selection for the first mate position. Selection of first mate is allowed to make their case to the crew in open forum as to why they should select their prepared candidate.
Good luck with that. Best get to it then.
Come on, you lots. Come, you lots. A captain's vote requires a deck. Board now, and let's end this.
The crew tentatively board the vessel. Proceedings commence.
No need for introduction. Far past that point. So much I've seen in all my days leading vessels like this, the sort you would hear of songs sent out everywhere. But what I've seen here goes far beyond any sort of that. What stands before you is so much bigger than any of us. I've walked this path before so many times. Half of you can attest to that. I understand. Look at me as a deserter, a coward, a traitor. You have every reason to, but you should ask yourselves where you stand, where your road took you, always here, with me. Even in my absence, I've always led you to where you need to be.
Hunt clears his throat before pointing to the tree.
This thing is an abomination. The power it holds is too great for any one person to pose.
Hunt holds up the fruit.
Do you wish to hand this, the quite literal fruits of our labour, over to the employer who would have us die out here for their gain? The employer who would not even trust you their name? The employer who would leave us out to die on the ice? That would refuse to send rescue?
The murmuring between the crew at the implication that a rescue ship was not sent.
Robin Shaw was a fine officer, but Shaw could only hold down the fort in my stead. Shaw did not weather the seas. Shaw did not discover the Viscount. I did. You should judge Shaw in the officer's own words. When we last spoke on the Temperance, Shaw told me that the mark of a leader comes in understanding. I ask you, do you feel that after all this time, Robin Shaw truly understands every one of you? Now I believe it is time for my first mate to said a few words.
Grimly steps up. We'll keep it short. Captain Rufus Hunt is a man who I trust with my life, and always has been. When Junior and I were but lads, he took us in, and we had nowhere else to go. Since then, he's been the best captain we could have worked for. Shaw couldn't live up to that standard. If you trust me, you should trust Hunt. Grimly steps down.
Thank you, Grimly. I believe it's your turn to speak, Shaw. You step forward and the crew waits with bated breath. Hunt has already had his chance to speak. Now it's your chance to refute his words. There is stillness in the air.
We've travelled so far with this crew, and now they all stand. All seem to be hoping that your next words will instill them with confidence and assurance that they all this time spent with you has been worth the trouble. You pause, collecting yourself for a moment before making a
person. It's been some time. I hope you just a little more. I believe that the key to the true leader is understanding. I've come to understand a great deal of time. At least was it. Now I realize that that's not the case. Even I see a good leader. I may not have always displayed as much, but I have learned from our interactions. We have come together like that. I see before me many different faces, many different backgrounds. Stand on the precipice of one of the greatest hours. I cannot, with good conscience, consider through it all, I've always had your best interests at heart. When we return to land, I assure you I will make. We did not come this far just to think of the glory that awaits us on land, the fame. Think of the stories that will be written. We did not come this far just to throw it all away. Your thoughts turned and the tree sprouted. The tree cannot be allowed to exist. We have numbers we can sell. That's what we can spend an envoy out to meet the rest of the could be here anymore. Right now, we should hunker down. Rescue will be searching for this ship. They will find us. Time for fear is over. Let us all stand united and plunge ourselves headfirst into death. This is the business as usual. I do not allow yourselves to be tricked. I am your captain. No one else. Who would choose to first? They're not back. Junior steps forward. All my life I've never served another captain other than her. Until recently I thought that would always be the case. Seems like Shaw made it a mission to prove me wrong. I have to admit, I was wrong. I look a fool standing here defending someone other than Rufus Hunt, but I happily looked down like a clown if I meant I was finally speaking the truth. I can't trust Hunt anymore, no one can. And there's not a soul here stupid enough to ever trust a snake like Templeton. Every week it was Shaw keeping this hosh pot full. Every meal you ate you can thank Shaw for. No one else, not even me. Lads, I'm not going to tell you how to think. The choice is obvious, isn't it? Junior steps. There you have it. Congratulations, Storm. I knew you could do it. Why did you challenge me? I forced the vote because I had to be sure. Captain Shaw, honestly, I always thought that had a nice ring to it. Hunt's still here. I want to hate him, but honestly, I pity him more than anything. There's no reason to let him go, though. I know Hunt. He can be dangerous. I'm curious on that myself. Well, Shaw, you're the captain. What should we do with me? Take him back now. Until the end of the days. Take him back as our prisoner. You may as well put me to death now, then. I doubt I'll receive softer sentence alone. But stories about plants like this, Captain, the sort written in songs, none of them good. It could be a coincidence, but I wouldn't want to show anyone this. I wouldn't even want to get close. Well, I'm just the first mate. Real decision's up to you. Good idea on destroying it, but there's a problem. You have noticed the ship that just so happens to be attached to that tree. Wood burns it the same. If we set fire to that tree, we're losing the Viking. If it's seaworthy, we'll be throwing away any escape. You have an alternative in the lifeboat. We cannot even trust the Viscount. So, cannot allow anyone to. You're right. Not just, couldn't even trust the Viscount. Understood. As much as I like to sail everyone out at once, the lifeboat might be the safer option. Crew get to work setting the tree alight. You watch it. Eventually, the Viscount begins to burn in turn. All that leaves is our exit strategy. We can't go back the way we came. At this rate, we can't meet the rescue ship. So, what are we to do? We'll send an envoy out to the lifeboat. One flag down the rescue ship and leave. We'll send an envoy. Final decision regarding the ship and its fate must be decided. Might as well throw any script I've been working on, Captain. This is far more fantastical than any film. Find the Viscount, find the tree, and our best plans on a humble lifeboat. My word, I think you've got the story for your next picture. What do you think the tree is? Whatever it is, it's something special. Burning it may be a mistake, Captain. Not before we knew for certain what it meant. Now I'm left not knowing. Never a comfortable feeling. Oh, I just realized my career as a navigator is just about over, isn't it? I've just reached the last great uncharted part of the world. You know, when I grew up reading about the great explorers of old, I always dreamed I would be plant the final flag. I may be an old man with a limp, and no flag to place, but I managed it. What will you do when we return to land? There's always more will. You're not wrong. This is the last great discovery. No, but who knows what's out there? Who knows? Maybe more exploration days are over. Now's as good a time as any to call it retirement. I'd still raise funding for the field. I don't want to leave folks like Hammond behind there. Maybe I'll move to the theatre. There's more stories I want to tell. Not about the expedition or anything. About home, the island I left behind. But I suppose it's been open for me. You've more than earned your rest, Kurt. Thank you, Robin. I should take all of this as a sign to wind down, shouldn't I? I've always been in contact with you. If you want to work together again, I'll make sure we do no matter the medium. This is it, eh? We've got one last gamble on our hands, but never thought we'd make it this far in the first place. Turns out, what do I bloody know? Not much. Better than the rest of us. Consider it. Would have guessed it. I sure have, but it makes me wonder, what else am I wrong about? What else are you wrong about? Always had a clear head on my shoulder. You know, never thought a bloody tree would ruin it. You know, maybe that's not true. Okay. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, isn't it? Probably, didn't think I'd agree to that. I've served a lot of ships in my time. Never once liked the one in charge of them. Military captains range from self-important and useless to drunk, self-important and useless. No offense to yourself. Didn't have high expectations for Hunt and had lower expectations for someone he'd hire. Another thing I was wrong with. You're alright, sure. What would you return to land? It's late for once. What we do when you return to land? What else? I'll be going back to work. No rest for me. Hopefully more boring work next time round. Might take Kurt on his offer. Working with him seems a better gig than the Appletons. Robin, if you're ever heading a ship again, let me know. I'll be right on board. Everyone knows you've been gone on without me. Captain, must be honest. Shame you choose to remove the retreat. Understand, fear of the unknown is great. Still, I think the possibilities of the discovery were endless. Oh, now we wait. It's out of our hands, but to make it this far, still, despite it all, I commend you, sure. You've done something remarkable here. You deserve great credit. You prove yourself useful. I'm sorry, Templeton, but the danger outweighed. Well, I have to take your word on that matter, Captain. I've always fancied myself an expert shore. I'm sure that comes as no surprise to you. Over the course of our expedition, well, it's become clear just how little I truly know. To be honest, sure, that excites me. I'm excited for what lies ahead. What are your plans for when we return to land? What are your plans for when we return to land? There will be more expeditions. Minerva will not accept that this tree was the only one of its kind, and I will be inclined to agree. To that, to be at the forefront of such a discovery, I have my doubt. I had many doubts once. I certainly had my doubts on you, Shaw. I've never been more happy to be wrong. I hope we have the chance to work together in the future. Eyes may be quite busy once you return. We not work together to remain in contact. That is true. But what I will likely be able to share of my work in the future will no doubt be limited. Well, I can say one thing with certainty. The future is unknown. Take care, Robin. No matter what happens from here, take care. Can't believe it burned, like any other tree. One less thing to worry about, Captain. Still, what a fascinating thing to find. Not too happy about relying on a lifeboat. Every chance we miss rescue. We don't have much choice. Best have faith. Feels like a damn dream. I'm sure you're excited to return to land. Best have faith. We've gotten lucky enough times, I suppose. We should all have been dead several times. Maybe that luck will strike once again. Regardless, I'm looking forward to a normal meal. If I see another penguin, seal, or tint peach can, I think I'll hurl my guts, Captain. Though we'll be dining on plenty of fish for the next sail, I imagine. What will you do once you return to land? Track down whatever greasy spoon I dined in back in the city and try their entire menu. I'm tired, Robin. I'll be happy to have someone cook for me. Stay in contact. If you ever sail again, let me know. I'll be happy to. Be honest with you, Captain. Sure. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this madness. But I doubt such knowledge will be out of our hands once we return to land, correct? Still, I suppose we should be proud of our discovery. We wouldn't have made it this far without you, Cordell. Or Clem, or Rosa, or Pascal, or Stanbury. Did not accomplish much of my own, Captain. All I ask is that my canon be remembered. It will be odd to return to land. My name will be in the papers soon. Without having being recognized from my past. I certainly won't be returning to my past life, even if I am known. I believe I'll find a new home, start over with my canon. I've done as much before, I intend to do so again. With any luck, we will not meet again. I hope not. I hope we meet again. Well, we'll see. Frankly, you seem to bring misfortune, Captain. A Jap, of course. It's been interesting, Robin. Promise me that you will take care of yourself. Well, I have a lot to write about on the sail back, don't I? I still can't believe this. I just watched it burn to the ground and I still can't believe it. But now we just have to wait. Let's hope the rescue ship can be flagged down. If I had all bad fortune thus far, I think we'll see a rescue. I'll be sure to include that quote in my record. It's funny, Captain. The reason I took on this story, interest in the exploration was waning. I grew up on the stories of Kurt Darling. These great explorers were like legends to me. I didn't want that passion to disappear. Who would have thought we'd stumble upon a great discovery of our own, what we do once we return? I think I'll take a long break before starting my next project. I certainly need to spend time with my parents and introduce them to Arthur. Regardless, I hope you continue to thrive, sir. You deserve that much. In fact, remember to keep in touch with me, especially if you have a good story to share. They'll write books about you one day, Robin. I know that. Captain, I can't believe we made it, and yet we still place our hopes on one lifeboat. Kurt is no doubt coming up with the perfect poetic phrase before we set off. You've made it this far. I'm proud of you, Arthur. Thank you, Robin. I owe it to you. You know, I still thought it was hopeless. Even after leaving you that ladder, I had very little faith in survival. And yet, people were relying on me, Captain. I only hope I didn't let them down. What will you do when we return to my end? Well, I have to face my family first and foremost, and introduce them to Kasha, of course. I never felt good enough to carry my father's name, but now, well, thank you. Keep in contact. If you need a haircut anytime, I'll tell my father to treat you for free. The last lifeboat of the Viscount, enough for the skeleton crew to make sail. Send an envoy out to search for a rescue to bring back. Out on the ocean again, nothing like the fresh air to whip up an appetite. You don't see a damn thing ahead, Captain. Oh well, at least have a break from cooking for that lot. Now the lives are in our hands. Do you really think the rescue is out there? Are you worried about the responsibility? I'm sure looking forward to a better meal once we hit land. If we hit land. But yes, I am. Junior gazes out onto the water. It's been quite the trip, hasn't it? I miss the open water, still waters. You're a good captain, Robin. I'm sorry it took so long to mention that. I'm sorry you had to see Hunt back in that condition. You're a damn good cook. Well, those days are never end. You'll be free of my captain. Sorry you had to see Hunt.
And so my Grimly didn't take it well, that's for sure. Part of me always thought he'd end up like this. Thank you, Robin. I'm sure you're sick of my cooking by now, but maybe I'll get to whip something up for you again before we're dead and gone. Come on, let's find that rescue. Week's hard sailing finally gives way to land. Lifeboat makes port. Exhausted, you and Junior spot a building ahead. Some weeks later. Kasha, reports finalized and ready to publish. Are you ready to establish? What? Why? You've got a good story here. A year surviving under the ice. Then all of a sudden I'm reading about some unbelievable nonsense about a tree in the coldest part of the world. Come on, Belford. It's true. I know what I saw, and I know what I'm not seeing. Proof. Why is there no picture of the great discovery? I told you I lost my camera at the mountain. Convenient. Without it, we can't run this. Be a laughing stock. Nobody's going to buy this without it. Daily Appeal already is a laughing stock, and do you really think I would get trapped in the ice for so long just to come back here and lie? Belford, you can't admit that. No, it's too important. If you do, I'll take my report to another paper. Fine. But if this blows up in our face, it'll be on your head. Understood? I wouldn't have it any other way. Hurt you bloody idiot! What is it, Clive? I'm left-handed. I'd throw a punch with my left hand. But with the current blocking, it looks better if you throw it with the right. Then change the bloody blockin'. Aye, you're right, Clive. Your attention to detail is impeccable. It's what you pay me for. Can you believe it, old chum? 2 weeks and the tale of the Temperance, our tale, will be on stage. Look at this. Our old scrap, just as I remember it. The way you remember it has got more holes in it than cheese. Ha! Perhaps you're getting up there in years. A good thing to grow old, I've learned. Don't you think, old friend? I do. All right. Who's ordered the full fry? The patron raises their hand. Here, Junior. Who's the magician? Come on now. Can't you see there are ambulance? It's my brother Grimly. I can tell him to keep it down if you like. Not at all. Not at all. He's doing a tremendous job. Ha! You hear that, Grimly? Aye. Always humble. Please welcome Lady Ingrid Cordelia Weston. Cordelia enters the gala. To the shock of many, a dog follows her at her side, the woman gently nuzzling the creature's head. Arf, arf. Try not to get too excited, Starberry. It's only a gala. Lady Weston, what is the meaning of this? Sir, you can call me by my name, yet I have no idea who you are. Well, you should know that I was not asking. You cannot bring a mutt in. How odd. I seem perfectly capable of doing so at a moment ago. Arf! Yes, this way, Starberry. Many hands to shake, names to forget, that sort of bother. I'd prefer to be home before late. The pups need fed. Cordell moves across the room, her faithful dog. Nutley and Kasha stand at the entrance to the barber shop belonging to Arthur Nutley, Senior. Nervous? Always, yes. But are you more or less nervous than usual? Less nervous, more giddy, a good sort of nervous, I suppose. Nutley enters, followed by Kasha. Is that him? He's coming this way. Arthur Nutley, Senior, spots his son from across the shop. Arthur, my goodness, is that really you? Father, The doctor isn't able to begin his sentence, interrupted by the barber throwing his arms around him, granting him a constricting hug. It's you, my boy, you're alive! The younger Arthur hesitates, surprised, before returning the hug from his father. I am. Does mother know? Your sister? Unless they've read it in the paper. Speaking of, I wrote something for you. Nutley hands his father an envelope. Please read it sometimes when I'm not here. Of course I will. Kasha clears her throat. Please don't
Pleased to meet you, Sir Casher Belford. Don't think I didn't notice you. How do you know my son? I hope he hasn't gotten himself into trouble. Arthur? In trouble? Hardly. Father Casher and I are, well, I think you see that we're an item? Yes. Sir Arthur Sr. pauses for a moment before a grin appears on his face. Son, you have been busy. Come, sit. I have much to hear. Aww. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. The old scientist ponders the table before him. He lights a cigarette. Mr. Templeton, you wish to speak with me? Yes. Do not worry, this won't take long. Out with it, then. Minerva Apperton. I, Richard Templeton, hereby tender my resignation. This is sudden. I assure you that it is not. Given this a great deal of thought, I intend to leave your service effective immediately. Very well. Will that be all? Will that be all? Is there anything else you need of me? No. On reflection, there is not. There is nothing else I need from you. Minerva Apperton exits the greenhouse. Templeton breathes a sigh of relief. Hunt waits in his cell. The days have passed by as the once captain of the Temperance awaits his trial. This is horrid, isn't it? Not even a neighbour to keep him company. Hunt speaks to himself in the empty hold, his own voice echoing through the walls. The stories I could have shared with them would turn your hair white. I wonder, would I do it all again? Suppose it's too late now. Hunt continues his ramblings, not a soul around to answer his pleas. They're alive. Bird alive, survive with it alive. Ooh, the air was cold. The crew intact. There was another achievement that popped up. Complete Act 5. What else we got? Succumb to the ice. Survive with grimly alive and loyalty. Didn't manage that. Meet all the crew members in the prologue? Oh, I missed one. Becomes sustained with awareness. Stained with awareness. Survive the ice with all crew alive and loyal. Survive the ice on hard mode. Complete the game with no loyalty left from anyone. Survive the ice without bringing Runt and their father the worst fates. Oh, the captain. Oh, the air was cold, a flake and white. The captain made a pledge. To the ice I pray, that leads reveal. On the ice I made a claim. That in the dark I lost myself. What? Ah! No! What? Did I? Hopefully this reloads itself. But I can't continue. Okay. Out in the ice, I made a claim and carved a course ahead. Of home I'll reach, of warmth near found, through sail to comfort's bed. A hunger drew the desperate here. It's one that I have fed. Such lonely souls were led. Its callings. Such lonely souls were led. What did I do when steel hearts broken? Courage did abscond. I've led the souls, so help the gods, out of the pale beyond. The whole thing's to do with a time loop. When you eat the fruit, which I didn't do. Because fuck you and fucking capitalism. Well, that went for 2 hours longer than I thought it was going to, but hey! I
thoroughly enjoyed it. I finished it. Technically, this is my longest stream ever. So if you stuck around and watched it all, that's fun. But this is part 3, and I'm not going to do any more. I might personally go back and see a couple of the different endings and get a couple of different things, but this will be the last time I stream The Pale Beyond. So I hope you all enjoyed it. So I have 3 parts, and apparently this can't be skipped. So I think this will be it. That's Maya Jojo Blue. Good boy, good girl, good boy. Are they doggos? Did they have doggos that they modelled? Alright, we can read the credits as they go. But no, I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, the bit of the thing at the end, the captain's done it multiple times and he's trying to get through it. Captain Hunt in... No, there was voiceovers. Fair enough. The Northern Island with the funding from the Northern Islands. All our patrons, testers. Fire Reinhardt.
Spooky accordion music. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I wonder how you get Grimly on your side, because he's very close by the end of it. Lucky they didn't all have fucking dying. That's the end. Pale Beyond. So, as I said, this is my last one for the Pale Beyond. I hope you enjoyed my little mini-series, and go back, watch it if you haven't. Oh, but yeah. Thanks for joining me. As you can clearly see, this channel is still in need of branding. So like, comment, subscribe, all those fun, fancy things that you always get told to do. And as always, have a good one, and I'll see you all next time.